Hi, everybody, and welcome to another extra very special Hobby Titans here from us at Hobby Titans. We're super excited. I'm joined by always as always of recently.
Always as, yes.
Yes, my colleague in crime, Miss Kat. Kat, today we are doing assembly. I hate assembly. You like assembly, which I think is weird.
Assembly, yes.
You, Brett, Bridger, so many people love assembly. I actually hate it. So, talk to me about how we're going to not hate assembly today.
Yeah. Well, biggest thing is we're doing one-off things because like assembly gets monotonous and tedious when you're like assembling 10, 20, you know, whatever of the same thing.
Right.
But just like with painting, I like to just jump around and stuff. So I don't assemble like all of one unit all at once and then go over and stuff. So that's a big thing. Other thing is having the right tools.
Yeah, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Learning some tools from you. I've seen some of these tools before, but I've never really seen some of these tools in action by you. So I'm kind of excited to see that. Great. Are we ready to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are. Folks, let's do this. Let's get creative. Okay, as you can see, as Kat mentioned, we are doing kind of like one-off. So what that means is we're not assembling like a load of...
A unit.
Like a unit, right? Now, I will say this. Assembly from GW models has actually gotten easier over the years. I've been assembling a lot more kind of newer AOS models. You have like less options of posability on things, but it's closer to it's like a hybrid of snap, push to fit, and like everything's separate.
Yeah. I mean, they've definitely made assembly easier in some ways, but I think we talked about it when we got the Thondian Stronghold box in, was all these little extra bits and details that they're now able to add on made assembly for terrain a lot more difficult. Now, this is an old model.
One's pretty old.
Yeah, this one's pretty old.
Kat has unearthed this somewhere in the depths of the game store she works at, Game Castle.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to put together. It is. I looked for things for us to put together that were not like where we would have little bits all over the table. Because if we can't get through a Hobby Titans episode without completing something assemblied, we're in big trouble. So we need to finish both of these. Both your thing and my thing are like pretty okay. Let's actually unbox a little and show. And to for what it's worth, mine's kind of interesting. It's like a 10-year-old model here. Almost. No, it is. It's actually an 11-year-old model.
Ooh.
I don't know how old yours is. Yours is a little newer, but as you can see, Kat's Gloom Spike gets Moon Shrine.
It's like 2 or 3 years old, I think.
Yeah, it's not that old. It's somewhat new. Mine is a little bit more sprues than yours, I'm seeing now. Yours is 2. Mine is...
Yeah, yours are bigger pieces.
But they're bigger, and like this thing is huge. Like you don't see a sprue like that nowadays.
No.
That's pretty crazy, actually. So, oh, nice box this thing came with, too. Can't wait to trip on that after the stream.
Great.
So, this is it. Let's do this. Let's assemble.
Yeah.
So, talk to me every step along the way. I need to be coddled into enjoying this.
Okay.
Because even though this is my hobby, I hate this.
I don't know. Like it's funny because I started off hating painting, mostly just because I like had some pretty frustrating results.
Yeah.
But assembly was, you know, it's like putting a puzzle together. Except you have all the instructions.
I also don't really like.
Oh, fair. I don't know. There's just something satisfying at the end of it.
Speaking of coming together, maybe this puzzle is coming together.
Yeah.
The puzzle of why I hate assembly.
So the biggest thing especially with terrain. Now I don't know what this kind of plastic's like, but especially with like, this is fine. This is more like their model plastic, but their like terrain plastic has gotten really thick and like hard.
I know what you mean. This is the older style. Mine is like the older style, like you're saying. But it is still pretty thick and hard.
Yeah. And now, Yeah, I'm seeing Cody saying that they assembled some Malifaux last night. Malifaux was the first miniatures game that I got into. It was the first thing that I assembled. So I kind of like dove off into the deep end when it came to assembly. Because Malifaux models are notorious for being very delicate
Okay.
and not having the best instructions either.
Yeah.
So
That sounds not great.
yeah, now I've put together like plenty of GW kits where I don't have to have the instructions, but I like to have them close by because sometimes like the bits look similar to each other
It's true.
and whatever. This is a much thicker book than I was anticipating it was going to be. So
Is
this
it
is
because
interesting.
the instructions are there like 5 times in different languages?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because a good thing about like a good model like assembly guide is that it shouldn't have to have like language
Assembly?
in it
Oh, I see.
other than like letters, right? But
Right.
I shouldn't have to read anything.
I like that, of course.
But yeah, the first thing
Yeah.
is, and I've talked about all of these except for, like a hobby knife, but I've talked about all of this time and time again. But first things first are the God Hand nippers.
You love these.
I love them. I love them so much. They make cutting through plastic a breeze. Now the first thing is to cut through the biggest one. Now you can see here. So other thing too is, cut when you're cutting on the sprue. Mm-hmm. Don't cut super close to your piece. Cut closer to like where it's attached to the sprue, and you're gonna cut twice.
Why is that?
Because when you cut really close to your piece, like especially with like side cutters or whatever, like things that like pinch the plastic together,
I see.
it tends to rip.
And this would be especially true maybe on a more delicate model, like a little infantry guy or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It might be less true on terrain. I don't know. I mean, no, it's still as true. Might matter less, I guess, is the point.
Yes, it'll matter less with terrain. You're not trying to get like super smooth like cuts or anything like that. But my big thing is cut twice. And
It's interesting.
yeah, so I will cut these pretty big like leads essentially, which is what these are. I don't know what they're called on GW stuff, but they're called leads on like other model kits.
Leads?
Yeah, like the things that attach it to the actual. Now
I know GW can sometimes name things their own name, even though it already has a name, but I don't even think they would do that.
but these are called sprues,
Yeah.
and they're not called sprues with any other model kit.
Oh, what are they called?
Like runners or whatever, just stuff like that. But
Really?
like
I thought-
only
is that
GW
true?
calls them sprues.
Is that true? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to believe you. I feel like I've seen them called sprues in. I think I've seen them called sprues in like model cars or something even.
Oh.
But maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. The only time I've ever heard them be called that is with
GW.
is GW stuff.
Interesting.
Now, yeah. So when you cut the like thing off of the plastic super far away, then you cut again. Ooh, I almost cut off a mushroom. That would have been bad. You get a much smoother cut, and it doesn't. Well, I mean, it's smoother with the God hands regardless, but
Right.
even with non-side cutters, you just get a smoother thing. It doesn't tear at it so much.
I'm using the AK kit.
Yeah, which are really good ones.
Yeah, the plier from the AK kit. The AK kit's really great, actually. Everything in it is just really nice.
Yes.
Right, like I don't think anything is top level, but it's all pretty good.
It's really good for the price
like
as well too.
25 bucks or something?
Yeah, 25 I think.
Yeah, something around there.
And the cost of the clippers themselves, like a pair of really good clippers, these are anywhere from, it depends if you can find them on sale, but
Yeah.
I've seen them for like $50 to $60.
Yeah, that sounds about what I've seen them for. And honestly, I bought one of these in store at your store in Redwood City, and then like a few weeks later, I just ordered 2 more sets.
Yeah.
Because of how useful they were to just have. Megan was doing hobbying,
No,
And
I want
wanted
to
set
compare
here and there. Yeah.
really quick.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to compare. So let's do like a really close zoom in
Okay.
on
I'll let you cut two different
this.
things.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
we'll
I'll
do
even
a
just show it
shoulder.
off here.
Okay.
So this is cut with the God hands. Now it's super smooth on both sides. There's no tearing or pinching or anything like that. Now this is what you cut with the AK
Yeah,
ones.
you see, like it's a little.
And so you can see that it like pinches together
Yeah.
instead of cutting. Now, if you have like pliers that pinch, this is like cutting twice is a really good way to like get it to not really pinch on your actual model pieces. Cutting twice with the God hands is kind of, it's not really necessary, but it's a good habit to get into.
Yeah, yeah.
So you could see how smooth everything is.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a really big deal for me, at least.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I
Yeah.
like 'em.
May I have my not as nice clip?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Awesome. Well, look, we did get a super chat from Meg. Thanks, Meg. Always appreciate when you support us. Meg says, top 5 instruction booklets. We've been having a lot of top lists going around the studio. Like a lot. Liberty Fire started this, of course. But other people like to do it too now. Top 5 instruction books is pretty tough. Do you know any? I'm trying to think.
I think the best instructions are any Gundam kit. for
Gundam
me.
kit instructions are
Yeah,
good? What
or
makes those
I
good?
guess Bandai kits. They like what I like about it, and I've seen them happen a couple times with other instruction kits. But like if there's ever a piece that very specifically fits in a different way, they'll color it differently, and they'll have like this little like, here it is, like a close up, and you really want to make sure that the nub goes up or the nub
Right.
goes whatever.
Yeah.
And Bandai kits,
I think they've been doing that for a while. Some GW
Yeah.
kits have started to like color green. They have like green, blue, and yellow.
or yellow,
And
yeah.
they show like
Yeah.
options.
Like
and stuff.
yellow is like, here's where you apply the glue, stuff like that.
And they show like they also will have like tracks of like different options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my number one like thing with Bandai stuff is like it doesn't take, you know, it doesn't take any extra pages or anything like that. It's just like, oh, here, this, you really want to make sure that this is facing this way.
Yeah.
Because another thing with a lot of like Bandai kits is, you know, with the suits and stuff, it's like you build 2 arms, 2 legs. And a lot of the pieces look very similar, but it's like you really want to make sure that all of the right arm pieces are with the right arm and the left arm pieces are with the left arm, and they are shaped differently,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. But they're super highly engineered like that.
I will say that overall, I find GW instructions pretty good, but sometimes they're not. For example, I will say that the Kron spine was not only a nightmare to put together. I also just found the instructions not super like the instructions weren't there cheering me on to put this miserable kit together. Instead, I felt like the instructions were like, "Hey, idiot, why can't you figure this out?" They like made it look so easy, and I'm just like, "Hey, this isn't working. Like none of this isn't like." They're like, "Hey, yeah, this little tiny piece just goes right here. This little tiny piece and supports the top 3/4 of the model, and you'll be fine." And I'm like, "No, it's not working."
Yeah, well, no, I don't know if that's like a thing with the instructions or just a thing with how the model is engineered. So I guess maybe a bit of both. But with the dragon skeleton that comes in the Thondian Stronghold box, the little like rib spine things, they all
Yes.
specifically go in there in a very specific order, in a very specific way.
Yeah.
But it's not like simple to tell if you like clip them all off and you're dry fitting and you like maybe you hit the table or something or whatever. I wish there was like a little nub on like each of them that was like a little bit different of like,
Well,
okay,
and
this
they-
nub goes in this
right.
one.
And you know where they do that actually is they do that oftentimes in a kit where there's maybe like 5 models that are like kind of almost like that hybrid, that modern hybrid of push fit, but not quite. And there they do it. They'll be like, oh, this arm that you think maybe could go on this one guy it has like a weirder, it has a different shape that only goes into
Yeah.
this one socket, or doesn't necessarily. It's not even a socket, it's just like kind of like a subtle
It's
shape.
but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's sort of different, but it's not different enough. And then like the instructions do a really bad job of like highlighting like no, these parts are different, and you really want to make sure that this one goes into this one. And like yeah, all of the pieces are like, oh, this is, 3 or 4 or whatever,
Yeah.
or this is part like 6A and 6B, so on and so forth. But it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like Bandai does it 1,000 times better.
Yeah. And the model instructions are all over the place. From my experience, I've never seen Bandai, but from my experience, I believe you based on what you're saying. Plus, that's like their thing. They've been around for a million years, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, right? But from my experience, other companies are much worse than GW. Some are like just
Yes.
basically, it's like that joke where they're like, how to draw an owl, and it's like 2 steps. and,
Yeah.
like,
Well, like Malifaux, I want to say, okay, the least helpful instructions,
Malifaux.
no, are Legion.
Oh, interesting.
Because Legion is like, here's the entire model together,
This is
and then here's,
Fantasy Flight.
yeah, the parts that like, it'll like point and it'll be like, oh, it's this part and it's this part, it's this part, but it doesn't tell you like any order of which to put it in or assemble it in or anything like that. And there is an order, but you have to figure it out.
I will say with the kit I'm currently working on,
Mm-hmm.
this is a thing older GW kits I guess did, but newer ones certainly don't, is that it has numbers here, but these aren't numbered. The sprue is not numbered.
Wow. Wait, did you turn it over on the other side?
No, yeah, I could not find a number.
Oh, interesting.
I really think I'm right on this for once. Yeah, I don't see a number.
Yes, Ted. Recipe books and count as instruction books.
Oh, interesting. Well, if we're counting in recipe books as cookbooks and stuff as instruction books,
Oh.
I'm sure objectively the 5 worst instruction books are all cookbooks.
Fair. Yeah.
So let's just say that we can't count that, Ted, because
I guess in this situation, we are just talking about model kits.
model kits only. Or no, I was gonna say anything that you really have to put together that's physical.
Yeah.
For example, I will say, board games. Megan brings up this game we actually recently purchased called Tea Dragon Society.
I will agree with you, Meg.
You know that game?
I had to. Oh, I love that game. I
Yeah.
love the game. It's so fun. I had to look up a video on how to play it.
Shouldn't have to do that. I'll say that. I used to work at a Toys R Us when I was in college. I was an undergrad, and we got a lot of different products in. And where I worked was the bike department. And so we sold bikes, but we also sold other things like Power Wheels and just weird little like anything wheels. It was actually literally called Wheel World. They called it back then. And so I sold any like kind of weird little thing that a kid would ride around on. Mostly bikes. It was like 90% bikes, right? But what I will say is I know that all over the place, at least like 10, 20 years ago, this was kind of famous, to make fun of Americans. Europeans would make fun of Americans for how our signs were like, yeah, no kidding. Like, no kidding, coffee may be hot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, like very like no-brainer, common sense kind of
but
things.
what I
yeah.
will say is, oh my gosh, when you got, when I would get, I had to assemble all of these things. I always
Right.
had to assemble one for the floor. And the American ones are amazing all the time. Like, it was pretty clear, like whether it was a bike or a Power Wheels or whatever. European, they'd make these like really cool little like always never powered, always like foot powered, right? They're healthy. They want their kids to have always foot
Are
powered.
they healthy?
Always like metal and wood ingredient, like not ingredients, like components, very little plastic from like the European companies. But oh my gosh, the instructions were like all the things laid out, nothing labeled, like 2 or 3 pictures of things going into things, and then the finished product. And it was like, this is gonna be fun. European products, man, like they had, at least 20 years ago when I was doing this job, maybe a little bit less than 20 years ago, they had the worst instructions. They were just like not helpful at all. It was like literally whatever they could fit on an 8x11 sheet of paper and fold in half.
Right. Okay, so I mean the question is,
And no language differences either. And that's probably a big reason
Yeah.
Right? Because they were like, hey, we can't just print these in English. We have to print them in English.
Because they're a global company, right? Yeah.
Well, and like within Europe, right, they're like a million languages all right there.
Right.
Right? In the U.S., it's like, usually they're printed in, if North America, it's French, Spanish, and English, right?
Yeah, or Vietnamese is becoming more popular as well, too.
Yeah, out here in California, we have a lot of things that'll do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if like, well, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
the point is, they were miserable. So like European toy directions, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Those are some of my least favorite.
Yeah. Now the question is best instructions. So Bandai is number one for me. I guess GW would be second because there are some games that I play, like Malifaux or Conquest or other things that I've assembled, where I'm like, I wish this was a GW kit.
Conquest not great.
Their instructions aren't the best. No.
Okay.
No, and also all of their instructions are online, which is cool.
Pro
I
and
like.
con.
I get the environmental thing of
yeah.
it. I like that they're not wasting paper, but also sometimes I just kind of wish it was physically in front of me. I wish it was on the box.
Yeah.
If anything.
I mean, with paper wasting is so interesting. This came up recently. I think I want to say at home with Megan. I was like, paper wasting is like if you can downsize the plastic in a product, I'm all on board. But like, I don't really think I care about paper. Like, it's the one thing in the U.S. we actually like recycle well, and like it's paper. It's fairly renewable. I'm like mostly okay with paper, but I get it's like energy and everything.
Yeah.
I get it's more than just that. I get that, but you're not wrong, and you can get all of them online, right? Reddit has like a whole. There's literally a subreddit that's just like all GW products.
Right, and one thing that I do, that's another thing too of like, oh, if I ever lose the booklet, then I can just look it up online, or like if I ever lost the supposed booklet, then I could look it up online. That makes it really easy. For Games Workshop, you can't easily do that. Like, it's not their own thing. You have to go to like a third party thing of like, for example, I don't mean to keep bringing up the Thani and Stronghold stuff, but like when I took the skeleton thing home to assemble, I didn't take the booklet because I left the booklet with everything else.
Oh, with us here, yeah.
And I wish I could have just looked it up, but it wasn't old enough for me to be able to do that easily.
Oh, on Red. Oh no,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. I mean, honestly,
I don't even think it was released yet when I took it home. Yeah, so that's a thing, and I can understand why they don't do that. Maybe it's like a copyright issue thing. Maybe they don't want people stealing their stuff.
What's interesting, Kat, is you say it before I even thought about using Reddit, and that might not quite. I mean, Reddit existed, but I don't know that this subreddit existed. I emailed them one time, and I was like, "Hey, I lost my instructions on how to assemble this thing," and they sent a PDF to me.
That's nice.
Like within like a couple days. So it is like, it is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
They will do it. So, look, Meg, I don't know that I can give you top 5 instruction booklets. Some of these top 5s are getting insane.
I can get you 2. Other than that, it starts to become very like slim pickings.
Yeah, I
guess board games though. Best instructions I've ever gotten from a board game is from Oath.
Oath, okay. I've not played Oath.
It is by the same people who made Root, and it's a
which I have played, but like once.
Yeah, it's a legacy game, which means that like you play it, it changes the story, you put it back in the box. Next time you play it, the rules are changed, or whatever.
I didn't play this.
Well, that's not. Yeah, Root's not a legacy game, but but Oath has a quick start thing, and the way that they package their game is like, here's deck A, deck B, deck C, and as you read through the instructions, it goes, okay, open deck A now, and then take the top, like read through it until it tells you to stop. And so the top card of deck A is like, okay, now this is how you want to lay out the table, get to the next card, so on and so forth. And so it was like teaching you how to play the game as you were playing it. which
I see.
I thought was really, really, really well thought out.
Oh yeah, Meg. We've had other games. Meg, I've experienced other games with horrible instructions. I don't know if they're still doing this, but some company had committed to making like every Rick and Morty episode into a board game. I think that was before they knew there was going to be 100 episodes. I doubt this company is still doing that. But the one where that was based on the episode where like they don't know, and that they're all like in the house and they don't know who's an alien and who's not an alien, and they're trying to like figure it out. The instructions for that Rick and Morty game were awful. Like, and it was pretty tough. I think there's like a couple places we actually even have to sort of like make up fill in a gap or two of like what happens. That's really bad. There's other bad ones too. Oh man, there's a lot of bad board game instructions out there. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it also
good
comes
board.
from like language barriers and stuff like that too, because that has to have readable instructions. And so sometimes when a company is based in a like non-native English speaking company and then or country,
yeah.
and then they have to like translate it, and they don't have the resources to get it proofread,
Yeah.
then it turns a little rough.
Wingspan instructions pretty amazing. The whole packaging, all that game is like set up amazingly. Man, this plastic cement, which we'll have to talk about.
Yes.
Man, it smells great.
Is that sarcasm or?
No, I mean kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's kind of like
You're like, I shouldn't like this.
I shouldn't like
yeah.
it, but it's one of those smells. Yeah. Like it's like we're gonna be in trouble.
It is interesting how quickly you are flying through this.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have yet to glue two pieces together.
Well, I will say that.
Are you flying through it because you're anticipating not liking it?
No. I will say that step one was put these two huge pieces together.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to do. Like I haven't done. I'm not going to gap fill here today. But I will do some mold line stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't done that yet on these two big ones.
Right.
I just put them together. I kind of looked them over and I was like, yeah, I think it'll be totally cool if I just put them together, then fill in the gap, which I do actually often. I think it works sometimes.
Yeah. One thing I did really like, not to go back to the instruction booklet thing, was I mentioned like, oh, it'd be cool if they could just print it on the box and also maybe have a PDF of it. Smog's instructions are printed on the box, which I thought was really interesting, but also Smog is not a ton of pieces. So
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
The effort there is in the material.
Working with the material,
with
which
resin,
is
right.
not fun. Now that is a part of assembly that it's frustrating, but it's also a nice challenge. So there's a satisfaction of like doing a good job with that I enjoy. Oh, that's interesting.
That makes sense.
This is not cast right, so I'll fix it.
Thank you, Evan. T. Evening Hobby Titans. I purchased a rather large resin model recently for a proxy as a squigoth. Do you have any must-do tips for cleaning, patching, if broken, assembling, and painting big models? Well, I think the question here, in your question, you mentioned resin. And I think we're going to probably say, well, I know I'm going to say that when you're talking about big models, really any model, the fact that it's resin probably opens up a whole nother situation, right? A whole nother paradigm of what we would say. And, I think it's sort of like resin's interesting because plastic, I don't want to say plastic's plastic. We literally just spent some time here talking about how that's not exactly the case, right? Mm-hmm. But the gulf between the different types of plastic that you get models in, I feel like is not huge. Like, for the most part, if I get a plastic model from GW, I've put together, or I've handled some Conquest models. I don't think I've assembled any plastic ones myself. Legion, like plastic is kind of plastic. There are differences.
There's differences. I prefer Bandai plastic. It's great. I love it. But they also, like, that's their thing, is they have like the poly bits and stuff, which are almost like a rubbery, flexible. plastic.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're almost like vinyl, they feel like. Right?
Yeah. And so
Some of Conquest is a little bit like that, no?
well, okay, their first bits of plastic I hated because they were almost like Reaper models a little bit, like very flexible vinyl plastic.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. But their newer stuff, I think they changed their plastic, is very much like a hard plastic like this. So,
Okay.
It got a lot better.
Well, I'll toss out a couple things for larger models. And then Kat can also can do that.
Yeah, I have a ton to say. So
Yeah, but I do think the plastic versus resin thing is big. I for plastic I've never really gone a big plastic model and been like, oh man, the instructions aren't good, or for me it really ends up Evan, even if you're not airbrushing with plastic, I really do sub-assemble a ton.
Yes.
I tend not to with terrain, if I'm honest, but with models I do. So I can tell you an example. When I painted my Tau Storm Surge, I really like when that thing was finished being put together. It was not when I started painting it. Let me say it this way: when I started painting it, barely anything was put together. It kind of had a core torso, but no plate on the torso. And I think, those, and then I think like maybe the gun was assembled together, but like really not a lot put together.
right
On
when you
plastic.
started painting it.
When I started painting it, because I wanted to be able to have sub-assemblies.
Yeah.
Same goes with my Riptide. I'm trying to think of big things here. Now, weirdly, my Stonehorns and from my Beast Claw Raiders for Age of Sigmar, I think I assembled the whole monster, but that's very organic, right? That's just like a giant monster. He doesn't have like different plates and different like gears sticking out of him and stuff like that. And I think I didn't put the ogre on until I didn't put the ogre on until the end. So sub-assemblies there, but not quite as many. This last Gargan I just painted King Broad. Bridger put them together for me. That's like Bridger and I have an arrangement. It's sort of a studio thing, but also like if Bridger puts enough stuff for me together, I'll like paint stuff for him. Because again, I hate assembly. So he put King Broad together like in a night. And I was like, I think it was after Hobby Titans, he came and got it. And I was like, dude, I'm tired. Like, just put it together. I don't care. I was like, I don't care about sub-assemblies. Just do it. And he did, and it actually worked out okay. Because the model's so big, I think. Almost.
Yeah, you can tuck into places and stuff pretty easily. Yeah. So yeah.
And we were joking before the stream that I'll pull a Sotar out to like paint like a quick skull and something. Right?
Yeah.
And so I just knocked everything out with that and did a little bit of cleanup. All of his gubbins I painted up with the Sotar and then just cleaned up around, and it was fine. Large resin models. I will say I hate large resin models. Do you like large resin models?
I don't like Forge World.
Okay.
But I've gotten...
I think that's mostly what I've done.
Yeah, but I've gotten some larger, like, what would be called, like, garage kits.
Okay.
Which are, like, small batch resin models. And there's a big quality difference between Forge World and small batch resin models. Because garage kits and like small batch resin models, they only use the mold so many times before they go, okay, cool, that's it. And like, I guess spoiler, but not really spoiler, is I'm working on assembling Smaug right now. And I can tell that the mold that they used for this particular model was breaking down. When they did it, and you can tell that by in the smooth surfaces of the resin, there's tiny little like divots, and it's divots and bumps because as you pull resin pieces from a mold, it starts to lose the ability to let go of that, and so you get micro tears and stuff, and then you start to get all these like bumps and like little almost like little like warts on the model that you have to like flick off.
Yeah, I know
stuff.
this from even like doing casting at home with silicone molds and stuff.
Yeah, and
kinda-
it does
they
the
kinda
same
break
thing.
down,
It does
right?
the same thing with latex molds. The latex molds hold for longer, I guess for more pulls. But yeah, so yeah, I don't like forge rolled kits, but I've done small batch resin kits that went together like a breeze. So you know, it you win some, you lose some, kind of.
Yeah, I've had forge roll kits go both ways. I've had forge roll kits that were a virtual dream to put together. One of them that probably backs up what you're saying, Kat, is when it came out, the special like Castellax robot guys for the Thousand Suns and Horus Heresy. When they came out, I bought 2 of them right away.
Right.
And they were amazing.
Yeah, because those are like one of the first pulls.
Yeah, probably, right. And they were also small, and it was also when forge rolls started getting a little bit like more assembly friendly.
Right.
Because they previously weren't, right? But by contrast, I have a Storm Eagle at home that I've joked about. Just like it's kind of where it's at. I'm never gonna touch that thing. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started. We have a friend of the channel we've mentioned before. Some of you have probably even met him, KK, that we talk about, and KK has offered to assemble it for me. And I probably will one day take him up on that if the offer still stands, because oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. And that was like a resin plastic mix kit, which I think just adds fuel to
It's like War Machine, because I think War Machine is also a resin plastic mix. Yeah.
Maybe older, especially, or they did metal too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were, I think, resin and metal, and then I think they went to plastic and resin. And small little bits of metal, and then I think now they're just mainly like
I think
plastic
they're
and
plastic
resin.
now, yeah. I will say about
anyway.
this. I will say about this kit. It keeps surprising me. I keep finding a thing and being like, "This isn't gonna go well," and then it does.
And then it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep being surprised by it. I'm like, "There's no way this is happening."
To get back to your question, Evan. Cleaning, I would hack at it as much as you possibly can with some nippers that you don't like, and then go in with a hobby knife, and then go in with at least 600 to 800 grit sandpaper, and then you can go up from there. I wouldn't do 400, mostly just because it'll eat into the resin a little bit. But 600, 800 grit sandpaper, you can go in with, and then go from there. If you are going to sand it or shave any sort of resin off of it or anything like that, you really want to make sure that you wash it in some hot water. And I like to use dish soap, but any degreasing soap works, because a lot of times with resin kits is they'll spray like a mold release into the silicone or latex or whatever their mold is,
right,
and then that will stick to the resin and paint, like especially like acrylic paint sometimes doesn't like it depending on what it is.
Yes.
So wash it in some hot water and some dish soap and scrub at it with like a toothbrush, but depending on how big it is, or like like a dish brush or anything like that, something that can agitate it into the actual resin. Patching, I do a mix of Magisculpt and green stuff. I like the flexibility that green stuff gives. I like the work time that green stuff gives, but I don't like how sticky it gets.
Sticky in a weird way, right? Because Magisculpt can be a little sticky too.
Yeah.
But there's something, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's
Yeah.
something about the stickiness of green stuff that I also don't like.
Yeah.
All of these things have a little bit of stickiness to them.
Yes.
But the stickiness of green stuff is weird. It's so sticky that you almost think it's an adhesive.
I mean, it could kind of, yeah.
It's not a good adhesive, I will say. No. You do not
Don't use it to glue your model together.
yeah.
You want to glue it together. I would definitely, if it's a huge resin model. You really need to pin it. And then, yeah, so I like to use a mix of Magisculpt and green stuff together. Now, to get it to not stick to my tools, I've heard people use a bunch of different things. My number one thing, though, is don't use Vaseline. If you want something like that, use like a water-based lubricant.
Like a good olive oil, like a good, like a good smoky olive oil.
Oh, yeah, then you can like, put some balsamic vinegar and have a snack while you're at it. Yeah.
Just lick it.
Yeah, don't use Vaseline. I've heard people recommend it. It's not great. It starts to build up like the petroleum jelly into your actual like goo, and then it doesn't stick to anything. And then it doesn't do what you want it to do. So a water-based lubricant, I've heard other people use like talcum powder or baby powder. I haven't used that myself, but I've heard people say good things about it. So, give it a try. Other than that, painting. Yeah, get an airbrush.
Yeah, honestly, I hate to say it, but larger models especially really benefit from airbrushing. And if you do have the dough to save up, I strongly recommend, like, a big large model is a great time to dish out that opening investment for like a Patriot or an Iwata and just like start there, I would say.
Yeah.
It's great. Even if all you do, several of my buddies in the Fault Line group they use airbrushes, but they really only use them to lay down base coat. And maybe then then I'll see him do some stencils or something, right? But there's some nice first steps with an airbrush. And a large model, something like even like as big as a Riptide again, or even like a little smaller, like a Redemptor. Dreadnought is like, it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
I think even you guys had a class at I think it was that guy Caleb, right? That who did a class where that's what they did. Started airbrushing was. On Dreadnoughts, on Space Marine Dreadnoughts. It's a pretty good size.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a large model, right? But it's a large-ish.
Yeah, if you don't want to get an airbrush, my biggest thing is put down your base coat with a close enough color of a spray primer that you can find.
Yeah.
Because you really want to make sure that your first coat is really even all around. And then go into brushwork from there. But,
we've talked about color spray primers. I don't know. The GW ones are great. Honestly, they're expensive. But
they're really expensive.
They're expensive, but they're good. And like, if they'll save you a lot of time and work, it'll be worth it in time. AK, I know they make gray and black and white. Oh yeah, should I try it out?
Sure.
Okay. I know they make gray and black and white. Do they make other colors?
AK?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make sand,
That's right.
like a gunmetal color. They make like a rust brown color, yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They make a bunch of different colors. And it's not even just AK stuff. I know MIG makes a bunch of like more colors, and honestly, I'm not mad at the Army Painter spray primers. You're
not mad about them?
Yeah.
Or at them?
At them, about them, they're good.
You're mad at, sorry.
Like,
You're mad
I don't
at
mind them. I guess,
don't mind
yeah.
them. You don't mind them.
I'll use them, for sure.
You're not mad at them. That's what you said.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them.
Yeah, you've.
I'm not mad at them.
That's like not like you wouldn't want to hear that though necessarily. Hey, I'm not mad at this product. It's not a resounding.
It's not my favorite, for sure.
But I agree with you. I've used them. I've never used them on models, but I've used them on terrain, and I actually think that they're great. We were talking a little bit about them last week, I think, even, right, Kat? And I was saying I've broken the nozzle off. I honestly think that only happened to me one time, because the nozzle's kind of janky.
And they're easy to replace too, because they're just normal spray can nozzles, which are the ones that you can.
Something happened with mine though.
The actual like.
Yeah, like I wasn't able to, because I did like I had another one and I went and took the little thingy off of it carefully and tried to put it on, and there wasn't a place to put it on. Something happened to me one time, and again, I immediately dropped it on like stone ground.
Oh.
In a particular
Yeah, maybe
way.
the can itself then broke.
Something like right where they connect broke. It was super lame.
Yeah.
Hey, this thing you handed me, what is
Yes.
this? Talk to peeps in chat about what this is.
Yeah, so I've talked about this as well before too. This is the Racer from Gun Primer. It is there. This is a small version of it because they have like a bigger version, but it is a glass file.
Yeah.
And it wears plastic down super fast, but I don't know if you noticed, it also buffs it.
It buffs
as well
it.
Too.
I did notice
and
that.
And it leaves it really shiny.
I did notice that.
So they are marketing towards more so like Gunpla builders or Gundam builders. Because a lot of times Gundam builders, well, I don't want to say a lot of times, but there are some Gundam builders who don't want to paint their models when they're done because they do have color plastic. They do have decals and stuff like that. But if you need to...
I was kind of like, what is the... Yeah, it's buffing it. Why do I really care, though?
Yeah.
But now that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, you want to get your plastic back up to that same shine that it had when, you didn't cut it.
Oh, that's interesting. That almost sounds like painting it would be easier at that point.
Yes, yeah. So, if you really, really, really care, because that's another thing that I really like about Bandai kits is that they're very good at hiding where their leads go into the actual pieces, and so they'll come like down and like up behind it almost, and they know like, okay, this part is going to be shoved into a place, and then there's going to be like a plate that goes on top of it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see this cut bit really. The only time that it's like really like, okay, I got to pay attention is when two pieces come together and they're flat together like that.
Right.
And then you got to, my number one suggestion with that is assemble it first and then sand. Don't try and like take the bits down or whatever, because then you'll get it to be like
I actually
uneven.
like doing that a lot for that reason. Like even right here, I'm gonna do that a little bit. Usually if I feel like I can get away with doing that, that's my preference. Is to glue, like get it with a good plastic glue if it's a plastic kit, and then go back in and as you're saying, then go back in and sand or
yeah,
even mold lines, right? Yeah, I don't know why I come kind of into doing it that way. Look, we've got some more super chats to get to, and we're going to get to them in a second. But we do like to give good hobby advice here, Kat and I.
Usually, yeah.
Usually we do. And sometimes we give hobby advice that some hobby advice is objectively good. And we're always very happy when we find out we gave advice and then people take us up on it. Usually it's like in the form of a product. And then they're like, hey, I got this thing Kat said. It's super awesome, right?
Or like a tip, yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty big fans of that. So that's great. However, every now and then we ourselves, we're talking about bad hobby things that we have, bad hobby behaviors. And we wanted to give some bad hobby tips to you guys. So here they are. We have bad hobby tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With as much hobbying as we do, we're not infallible. We do get lazy sometimes.
Oh, a lot.
We do cut corners.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a do as we say, not as we do sort of thing, but we're going to say it, so don't. Or do.
No, or do it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're worth thinking about, I would say, right? Okay, so here we go. Here are Kat and Zach's worst hobby advice. Oh, wait, we're going to come back to this one. That's the last one. Okay. Here's Kat's first one. Kat says, tired after... You know what? Let's read it in Kat's voice.
Yeah, tired after a hobby session, but need to clean your airbrush? Just don't. Just don't.
This one's pretty great. Talk to me about this one.
Sometimes I don't clean my airbrush.
Yeah.
And this, like, appalled you.
Yeah, this is very funny. I think there's a lot of hobby, like I try to get the pushed finished products out quicker than you.
Yes.
And so I have to cut more corners than you. But this is one place where I am like, I was actually shocked to find that out about you. I clean my airbrush a lot.
Yeah.
And I also have taken to, if people ask me, well, you I trust, but Other people, I don't know. I'm like, if Adrian or Megan or somebody like that uses my airbrush, no offense to Adrian or Megan, but I usually just clean it when they're done, no matter what. Even if I see them do some cleaning, I usually kind of clean it. And it's really on me, not them, but I'm a psycho about it. You, on the other hand, on occasion.
I just don't. Yeah, I'll just put it away. I'll spray through with water to like get it like mostly out of like the tip is really where
you don't just leave a pot of paint in there.
No. But yeah, sometimes I just don't clean my airbrush. Now it has come back to bite me.
Yeah, it always does. That's
every
why,
time,
right?
every time, every time. Because then I'm like, oh, what I'm doing right now would be so much easier if I like used my airbrush.
You're doing that thing where you're creating a prompt for a future cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait, no, I have to clean it, and then I just don't do it, and then I like sit in me being angry at myself over not cleaning my airbrush, or I will do it, and then that takes like 20 minutes of my time because I'm like doing a deep clean at that point.
A piece of advice I got in grad school, I think, when I was having to write a ton of music, was not to stop ever writing music when you're stuck, but to stop when it's going well. And kind of take a note, and that way you'll be excited to come back to the project.
Okay.
And I feel like if I always knew I had to start by cleaning an airbrush, I'd be annoyed. Oftentimes I have to start by cleaning my hobby area.
Right.
Like if I'm going to undertake a large project at home, and I've mostly been doing stuff here, I've been like taking stuff home, just setting it on my hobby area, kind of making a mess, then I feel like it deters me a little bit from getting into that hobby project.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If my first step is going to suck, then I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's your first.
that's mine.
That's your first one. Okay,
Yeah.
so great. Tired after a hobby session, but need to clean your brush? Just don't. Here's my first one. If you drop a bit, don't look for it. Clip a new bit. It belongs to the floor now. This is especially useful if that bit is replaceable. So, for example, if you are putting together some Tau Fire Warriors, there's like 14 helmets in that kit and only 10 torsos. You're only making 10 Fire Warriors, right? Don't worry about your buddy who's like, oh man, got any extra Fire Warrior helmets? I'd love to stick them on some spikes on my Chaos. Like, no. Like, if I drop a Tau Fire Warrior head and I have 13 more, and now I need to build 10, like, I'm just gonna like clip another one. That's going on the floor. I'm never gonna look for it. I mean, look, I'm pretty bad about it. I might even like change a weapon option based on that.
I almost dropped a bit.
Yeah, you almost, but
I didn't.
Oh, but see, these, I bet you have to have that.
Yes.
Yeah. This doesn't work if you have to have it.
Yeah. I mean, technically, whatever. It'll just look like the moon's not tied to
that
anything.
one might be okay. Yeah, that one would be okay. But like, if it's an optional bit, and anytime I have extras, yeah, I'm not sticking around to hunt for bits on my floor. I will say that.
Carpet is a little hard.
Kitchen floor too, like anything. Like, I don't.
Because then you have to like get lights down there, and then they'll just start flashing them around everywhere and seeing where the light reflects off of things.
Now, I will say this. One really cool thing, depending on how long I've been hobbying and what they're up to, one cool thing about cats, if you have cats, which we have too, if you drop a bit, oftentimes your cat's face and head will go directly to where it landed. And I've done that a couple of times. I've been able to find a bit, especially on the kitchen floor, because my cats will kind of hang out in the kitchen with me, but not sleep. Like in the hobby area, they usually just go to sleep.
Right.
Because it's more comfortable. But in the kitchen, that's not where they sleep. That's where they eat. So they'll like stay awake. And if I drop something, I hear that like hits the like linoleum or like fake wooden floor thing we have.
Right.
They'll like look right at it, and I'll be like, oh, I'll look where they look, and I can like usually find it. That's kind of helpful.
Fair.
But for the most part, yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay. On to cat tip 2.
Yeah.
Here we go. Cat says pesky. Oh.
Yeah.
I keep reading these in my. Cat says pesky. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my cat voice.
Pesky gap. Try melting it shut with plastic glue instead of gap filler. It's great.
Yeah.
This is what I've been doing this whole entire time as well too. Yeah. Because sometimes these kits don't, like, I don't know, the plastic's warped or whatever, and like you glue it together and like then it starts to like come apart a little bit. So I've just been painting down the seam and then holding it together and like mushing it.
Yeah.
but like I've cut so many corners with this of like even when I assemble something with super glue and I'll go back through and start like being really meticulous about it, and I see a gap, I'll just coat it, like completely drench it with cement, which softens the plastic, and then I'll just push it together, or I'll wrap rubber bands around it or something, depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But
In other words, what I'm kind of hearing is gap filling is not black and white. There's like degrees of gap filling based on the situation that's unfolding, right? I definitely feel the same way. I actually have a gap filling tip as well. My gap filling tip is a little more intense. Pesky gap, just don't fill it. It's pretty controversial, and I'm not always proud of myself for it. However, really depends what it is, and whose model it's ultimately going to. Who's ultimately going to own the model, and who's going to be painting the model. If it's going to be my model, and it's a big deal, and I'm going to own the model, and I'm going to paint the model, I usually try to fill gaps. But
if it's a competition model, I will be
sure you have to, right?
like, I will make sure that everything is perfect.
That's like a rookie mistake, right? If you don't do it.
I'll bring out the green stuff and the sculpting tools and everything like that.
Now, oftentimes I do find that if there's one line, we've said this all the time. We've been saying this for 18 months of Hobby Titans. If there's one place where you can often kind of get away with it, it's frequently terrain, especially if the terrain is not like a perfectly assembled building. But there's good gaps and bad gaps, right? Like some gaps can kind of work. Like even this right here, right? Like I don't know how well you guys will be able to see. Like if this is not like as pressed into, I mean, it's going to be easy to do. But if I had like that, that's not the worst thing.
I would
right?
just fill that with moss or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot you could do. I mean, honestly, you could just let dark paint get into it, and it would look like it was, this thing is kind of falling apart to begin with. So it wouldn't be the worst thing, right? But oh man, that was a big spill. But I will say that it's not my greatest hobby advice.
I don't think any of this is, honestly.
No.
But I think I think we give a lot of really good advice, and a lot of it is sometimes things that honestly we're a little bit too lazy to do.
Yeah.
So we're just keeping things a little real.
Keeping it real. Here we go. Kat's last point of advice.
Don't like the direction a project is headed. Put it in a box and start a time capsule and forget about it forever.
This is my favorite Kat advice. What are you talking about here exactly?
There's sometimes where like I'll be working on something and I've put so many hours into it and I'm really digging it, and then I get an idea and I'm like, this will be great, and then it's not great and I get really sad, and then I just don't touch it. Yeah. I don't touch it, and I don't touch it forever.
You leave it for your next of kin.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll put it in my will, and that's it.
That's it. Hey, in the closet, there's a shoebox.
Yeah. Crack this code if you want everything, but. Maybe eventually I'll get back to things. Now, I've only ever done this like a couple times. And I did it with one of the first models that I've ever done.
I think you've talked about this before.
And it was a Night Warden.
Okay.
And it was my first like airbrushing project, and I was like, I'm gonna do everything in grayscale. It's gonna be black or white or in between, right? Monochromatic. But in order to get the cool contrast, I'm gonna do matte and gloss and layer them on top of each other.
Which is cool. Which does sound like potentially a cool idea.
It was really cool. It was great. I loved it. I achieved the effect that I wanted to achieve. Now, I've talked about it before where I started my hobby journey by learning how to airbrush first. And so my brush skills and my blending skills with a brush, very specifically, were not up to par with my airbrushing skills. So I was using this stencil to create this cool like geometric pattern on the shoulder plate.
With an airbrush?
Yeah, with an airbrush. Okay. And I got some overspray on a part of it that I didn't want. And it wasn't like just the trim where I can go in and paint the trim a different color. It was like on the actual like shoulder part. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is all just black and white, except I had put a gradient into the black to dark gray. And I went in with a color and I painted a line, and it didn't match anything that I had placed before. And I gave up. I just said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And I got really sad. But I put it away, and I was like, I'll come back to this, and I never came back to it. And then I promptly sold all the bits and stuff for it because someone wanted to use like stuff for, I don't know, like a basing project or something like that, or whatever. But
which nights are good for.
Yeah.
Or terrain even, right?
I'll still go back to it. I think it's a really cool concept. I'll probably go back to it, but I did use it as like okay, obviously I need to work on my blending skills with a brush. And so then I painted something else with just a brush, and it was great, and I loved it a lot.
Yeah. So Kat's final bad hobby idea, and it's pretty bad, but I do respect her honesty for it. Okay, my last one. Here's my last one. So there's Kat's. I love the time capsule idea. Mine is, no one is ever going to look under your models unless they're sick in the head. Only truly a demented person is going to call you out for not painting the underside of your repulsor executioner. So I would say don't do it. What I tend to do with the underside of large vehicles, I could show numerous examples, is I will typically do like for airbrushing, if I'm doing several colors, I'll typically maybe do the first two.
Right.
So that like it just looks darker. But I don't go in with many details or any usually. I could grab a towel flyer and show that in a second here. But I don't really, do you?
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to for show pieces, of course.
My trees, my pink trees, the underside of them is like a gaudy, like I hate the pink color of it.
Yeah.
But I did paint it pink, and I did go in and like carve out the branches and stuff, but it's not a good pink. I just needed to get some color in it. So it just kind of depends on what it is, really.
Yeah, I tend not to, and I stand by that as hobby advice. But it does depend what it is. Okay. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm getting there.
All right.
I'm not really getting there.
No?
I'm going much slower, but also I clean as I go and everything like that.
I do have like probably a little more cleaning in the pipeline than you on some of my mold lines. We have a few more super chats here. Thank you, Ted W. Thanks, Ted, as always. We actually know this guy. Ted says, hey, I'm starting assembling on my first AOS models, Cruel Boys, which I'm really excited about, Ted. Zach and Kat, what color would you paint orcs if you didn't want them to be green?
Yellow.
You say yellow. Yellow's interesting. There is basically in Sigmar there is the equivalent of like hobgoblins called hobgots.
Are they yellow?
They have a unit, and that is their traditional color. But I don't think that rules yellow out for orcs.
Ooh, or purple.
Purple is
like a lilac.
Purple is one people go to a lot. You know, Ted, I've thought about this a lot because this question does come up more often than you would imagine. Looking for non-green colors to paint orcs, you know? Keep in mind with Cruel Boys, a couple things, if it changes your opinion. Can you visualize these guys? Do you know which ones they are? They're the swampy orcs dressed in rags. They're not like... The Iron Jaws are the ones we have in like the red plate armor. People usually do them in red or yellow. And it's like plate armor. It's still kind of messy, but they look a little more like majestic.
Right.
And then Cruel Boys are the ones that have like all these like scary wooden weapons and like...
Oh, okay.
And like they're dressed in rags. A box set came out of them recently. What's the most recent box set? They're still in...
No idea.
What's it called? Dominion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The orcs in
Okay.
Dominion.
Okay. I wouldn't say that was recent, but yeah.
Yeah, about a year. Sorry, it's like been over a year. Well, it's been like 18 months, but yes, yeah. They're those guys, right? I don't know if that would change your answer.
Maybe like a yellowish brown then, I think. Or yeah, like a lilac. I think a lilac or a like soft mint teal would be cute. It'd be cute. I don't know if you want them to be cute, but it'd be cute.
It's interesting. What I was gonna say, Ted, is purple comes up a lot. I really don't know. I think what I always would try to convince somebody to do, like teal is interesting. I'd always try to convince somebody to go near green.
Oh.
Without going away from green.
Ooh.
And I think there's some compelling ways you could do it, like a really dark black green that you highlight up a little bit. I'm always curious about, Ted, just add us, don't super chat, but I'm curious, like, what's with not wanting to do green, and it's not a judgment. I'm just like, I'm always curious why, whenever somebody's like, hey, how do I do non-green orcs, what should I do? I'm always kind of curious about the thought behind it.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I feel like
maybe just be different.
If you go, yeah, I know. If you go anywhere from like brown to white, then you're like starting to get into like human, elf, and dwarf territory, right? Mm. So you can't really do that. So you're like kind of on the hook for doing a real like a color. You know what I mean? You're on the hook for doing like not those are all colors, but you're on the hook for doing something like green or blue, like a version of blue or red or yellow. Basically, or purple, right, or orange, like.
So any color.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is you can't
besides
really do
like a normal skin tone.
Right, you don't want to do like a normal human skin tone.
Ooh, I kind of want to see a normal human skin tone orc.
I just feel like it would be a little
with like liver spots.
Yeah, I mean, but
like a what are they called? Oh no. Ooh. The people who don't have any melanin in their
albino.
Yeah, there you go, like an albino orc.
Okay, I already paint green orc skin for orc stoties. I don't want them to be the same. Oh yeah, that's a great reason. Just want to do colors he hasn't done before. Mm-hmm. I'll toss a few out. I think gray is interesting. I think there are so many awesome gray paints out there. I love a lot of the AK gray lines because AK has like a gray with almost any tint you can imagine to it. Mm-hmm. I recently found one of my favorite colors. What is it? What was it called? It's like if you took mauve but made it really dark, like brownish, purple, but super dark. It's an AK color, and I can't remember what it's called. It has a weird name.
If I could look. I mean, all of them are down there.
All yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over there with my stuff.
Purple shadows would be cute.
Yeah, gray skin with purple shadows would be cool. Yeah. I'm into like gray as orcs. I'd be very interested in seeing gray orcs. And like I said, there are so many AK grays. And frankly, GW has some cool grays. I don't know if they call it anymore, but it used to be like Warp Fiend gray. It was like the purplish gray that they have. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's a cool color. I use that on my Tau lenses. I think that there are some compelling gray options out there for orcs. And then gray is a great color because like then when you do their clothing, their the metal and their cloth and like everything can look awesome with gray, right? Like orange looks awesome with gray. Yellow looks awesome with gray. Everything looks awesome.
Yeah, my thing with painting stuff gray, though, especially when it comes to like GW things, is that you don't want to get you don't want to make it look like you didn't paint it.
Yeah, of course.
So you got to really go hard in like highlights and shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
To make it be like, no, I painted this.
Yeah, and I think that'll be easy to do on Cruel Boys. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my only thing with gray, with like figures and stuff. I'm still gonna say like a lilac.
Lilac, yeah, lilac would be cool. Purple comes up a lot. I think it's also a compelling option for orcs. Good luck. I'm super excited, Ted, to see these. I hope one day we can get a game in. of Sigmar. Yeah, that'd be super awesome. Cruel Boys are super fun, but they're funky and they have such a bad reputation. But actually, they have like one of the lowest win rates. I don't think you care too much about that, Ted, and I can't say I blame you. But they're just fun. Yeah, they're goofy. Ted, thank you so much as always. Okay, other super chats. A couple more here. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Ty, as always. Assembly. Can you recommend a terrain set with no assembly required, ready to play out of the box? Also, my AP Speed Paint, Army Painter Speed Paint just arrived. Ever tried them? I literally had the whole box from your store over here in Santa Clara, right across the way, in my hand. It's $100, and I was like,
the big box,
the big box of Speed Paint, and I'm like, you know what? I've got contrasts from GW. I've got shades from GW. My understanding from Goobertown's review that I watched many months ago when this first came out, he kind of said he felt like they fell in the middle consistency-wise between, I think, contrast and like a shade, so like a little thinner than contrast.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where it landed. And I almost bought the box, but I just didn't need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that can be a problem. And honestly, like, I've been somewhat slow to embrace contrast wholesale, like using contrast as like my primary method.
Reaching for it versus like just reaching for like a normal layer paint
or
something.
Like, I mean, honestly, I do a lot of airbrushing. And I think one of the things these do is speed up processes. And
the contrast through airbrushes are like my favorite ways of using them.
I do use them for that. And honestly, that's why I do a lot. And I use them in my daughters to like tint their metal, either with an airbrush or by hand. I find myself using the medium a lot. Have you tried the Army Painter Speed Paints? I have not.
I have not either. So ever since I bought my like big massive suitcase full of every single AK 3rd gen paint, it takes a lot for me to buy a paint now.
No, but they don't really have a
like a speed line?
They don't have that consistency of paint.
No.
But again, like we were just saying, like you don't.
Yeah, and if I wanted it, then either I'd mix it with the transpirator or use a contrast paint I already have or whatever. So no, I haven't used the speed paints yet. And yeah, honestly, like from everyone that I know that have used them, I think everyone says the same thing of like, it's just more colors, really. Like there's nothing really that like they like over one or the other, because I don't know about the price individually.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they're cheaper than contrast, right?
Yeah.
So Ty, there's a Goobertown Hobbies did an awesome video on it. I'd check his review out. I think what his review kind of is all I really have to go off of right now. So I would check that. I am interested in trying them, but like kind of like we said, I don't know. I need, like, I did start implementing contrast in my armies. In my Daughters of Cain, I use a little bit. Actually, I do use it through an airbrush for their skin as well. I use Skeleton Horde kind of early on in the process to add like warmth to their kind of pale skin. So I've done it, but I don't know. Also, I'm not like, you bought all the AK paints. All the AK paints, that's like a good set of paints to have. We have all of these Reaper paints behind us. They're useful because like for terrain, you can grab one and like, but it's weird. Like, so somebody who paints armies, I don't really want one of every color of Army Painter Speed Paint. Like, I'm going to have a process, and I'm going to need like
you're gonna
four
have like
of
three
one
of
color.
yeah. And we don't have them individually at Game Castle, and they do sell them individually. But we made a decision of like, we're just gonna have the sets because buying a whole rack, and like, this gets into like retail stuff, but buying a whole rack is like thousands in on something, and it wasn't the best thing, mostly just because we already sell a ton of other paints, and they do well. So
We are at Hobby Titans. We are not yet big enough. Hopefully soon, but not yet big enough. And we don't actively ever reach out to people because honestly, if we did, oftentimes we'd probably get sent stuff, but we don't. We don't reach out to Army Paint and say, "Hey, can you send this box?" And $100 isn't the craziest amount of money, but again, like I'm gonna buy them. They're gonna be mine. I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna like struggle to force myself to use them. You know.
So I guess answer is we haven't tried them yet. Not averse to trying them, but there hasn't been enough of like either a marketing push or whatever sort of push where with the contrast stuff when they first came out, so many people were coming out with like, oh, here's a really easy non-metallic gold recipe. You need snakebite leather for this because it's such a beautiful gold.
Right.
I haven't seen anyone do that yet with the speed paint stuff. So
no.
Yeah, not averse to trying them.
Not averse to trying them,
but have not tried them yet.
The other thing that's kind of interesting, if you think about a liquidier version of, that's not really the word, a thinner version of contrast, is, I just get the contrast medium. And in fact, that is what I do with my Daughters of Cain. On a wet palette, I basically make a little pool of thinned down, like teals, and use that.
Yeah, I just use Transparator with everything. But yeah, same thing. So, no, I get it. Now, as far as like terrain set with no assembly required, ready to play out of the box.
I have a couple thoughts.
Well, like I don't know if you've heard of this thing called Titan's terrain.
Yeah, no,
but
that's true.
I think that would be really would be really cool.
I think Ty has a set.
Yeah,
I think I remember chatting with Ty.
That would be my number one recommendation. But my second recommendation, now I don't know if they sell just these separately. But I was telling you...
He is winking, so maybe that's what he was setting us up
for sure.
Yeah.
But I was telling you how I was assembling the orc, like, kill team terrain.
Oh, right.
And it's like the ramshack, like,
Yeah.
whatever. It's literally, you just clip them, and then that's it. Like, that's what they are. And so it's like these piles of rubble, and then, like, some fence sort of thing. But, like, you don't glue anything together. You just clip them out of, the sprue.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you paint them.
Yeah,
but, like,
I missed that Ty's probably joking, but so I started thinking about one. But yeah, I would say, so I'm going to give you a real answer anyway, Ty. I'm going to say I personally find that stuff on Etsy often is pretty interesting. Like, you can get stuff on Etsy that is mostly entirely assembled and maybe has like one or two small things you need to do. Or nothing at all. So I am kind of a big fan of getting stuff off Etsy. Honestly, people will send me cool things they find too. Knowing that I love me some Etsy terrain. The problem is if it does require assembly, it's often a pain in the butt. It's usually seems not that well thought out all the time. I just got a giant cathedral, kind of Soul-Blight themed cathedral off of Etsy. It was huge. It's in a big box in my house, and I'm excited to put that together. We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Ty. And thank you, Kurt Amazing. Will you all consider doing a night dedicated to garbage train for the Pour Hammer crowd? Terrain made out of bottles, cans, packing foam, and how to take it to the next level, things other than pink foam. This is a great question, Kurt, and yeah, of course...
Upcycling.
Yeah, upcycling, right? Of course we probably will. I would say, well, okay, so we have done orc terrain. If you go back to last year, I believe there was an orc terrain episode with, I can't remember if I did it. Yeah, it was me and Adrian. Me and Adrian did an episode where we did his orc terrain. He's been painting up a lot more orc terrain as well. So some orc terrain is happening. And he has, like I said, there's an old Hobby Titans where we did like squirt guns and kind of some found objects for orc terrain. I always call this found object terrain, like found object art, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. We should do it because honestly, you can do it well and you can do it not well, right? Some things don't really work, in my opinion. And there are some things that help things work. Like I know some company, ArmorCast, they're not around anymore, but they used to make a thing you could drop a 16 ounce, 12 ounce. How many ounces is a normal soda can or like LaCroix? It's 12, right?
I don't know.
Really?
16? No, 16 sounds kind of big. I think
No, it's 12. Yeah, like a 12 ounce can. See, like I called Kat out for not knowing. It's like, really?
Sorry.
Like I didn't know either. I was like, really? Come on. So I think people make MDF ones too that you do this too, where you kind of build them around a can, and they make like a chemical, like tank.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It works, I think.
We had a customer at the old Mountain View location who we called Professor, and he was like a retired like history professor. And
Leland?
Yeah, Leland. Yeah. And it's too bad that he moved too far away now, but he would make a lot of like upcycled, not even just terrain, but like just models in general as well too. And he called it recycling with a vengeance or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a Leland.
Yeah, and that it was really cool to see. And now he didn't do anything like super crazy with it. Like you can still tell that a can was a can, but he applied some really cool paint jobs and like some camo mask netting and stuff, and then would like cut little bits and bobs off of stuff and glue it on as like little pressure valves and so on and so forth. I've seen a lot of people do some really cool stuff with like here's what this is. I think it would be really fun. I think we would have to like build up a supply because
it's true.
We're pretty good at recycling here.
Yeah, it's true.
Mostly just so it doesn't get cluttered again.
Yeah, that happens. We're also very spoiled for kits.
Yeah.
Here, so it's true. We are privileged here in this regard, and as a result, we have not done much of what you're asking for.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun. So give us a budget, really, and we'll see if we can work with something.
That'd be interesting.
I think that would be a fun challenge.
Now, one thing I will say, speaking of a budget, this kind of breaks that a little bit, but if you can, like you said, I heard you mention like getting different, like gluing different things to it. If you can get even like one Sector Mechanicus kit from GW, and I find you said no pink foam, but I find that so we can find substitutes for pink foam, and I find that basically pink foam takes one GW kit, like a Sector Mechanicus kit or a Runes kit, and typically lets you get like 2 out of it, especially if you also toss some scatter in there. So I would say like don't shy away from, if you can, buying like one Sector Mechanicus kit. Oh my God, to Kat's point, valves and like doors and stuff, you're gonna be able to put like one like door or valve on this kit, but it's gonna give you like 4 of them. So you can glue those to things and like that's it, right? I don't know. I some found object terrain is cool. Some works better than others.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. Like there's these like almost applesauce in a packet kind of things for kids, and they have these like weird valve things on them. Those make great valves, or like air intakes in a way. There's other things like corrugated plastic and stuff makes really cool vents, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm also finding that like with companies sort of pseudo getting a little bit more environmentally friendly, they're like diverting away from stuff like that a bit more. So yeah, cans are super easy. If you buy electronics, I know they come with like the very specifically shaped styrofoam. That's really great.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's super awesome. You save that, but when's the last time we bought electronics for the store? Or not store, but studio. I mean, both store and studio as well too. So yeah. It's great if you save up that kind of stuff and if you have room to save up stuff like that. But other than like us just reusing bits and stuff from boxes, not a lot of that happens here. But every once in a while, I'll save like a jar. Be like, I can use this for something.
Yeah. On the Glam Cam here, this is what I was talking about. Like, this is a little probably cat food tin that I primed and put on top of it like a stencil, like not stencil, 'cause the stencil is the number 5 there. On top of it is basically just a Sector Mechanicus like pipe piece. Mm-hmm. You know, without that pipe, without like that vent thing on top, for me, like, this isn't a great piece of terrain. But with the vent thing on top, it's like, okay, cool. It's like a little like gas release tank, right? And like it's releasing. And we use these on Titans all the time. And this was super easy to make, and it's held up too, like with the glue. So I think there are some good options out there. I do actually like using a lot of like different metal things. In particular, I think work well. Styrofoam, I'm a little iffy on. Like the specifically cut styrofoam things you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I actually think I've probably seen some awesome ones. I think they need a little more love sometimes than people think that they might need.
You really need to seal them for sure. And if you don't have a good sealant, then yeah, it's not great.
Not even just love as far as not even just love as far as that kind of love, which is also very true, but even just like design. Like, I think people are like, oh, hey, this like weird thing that my that I don't know, my modem came in. Mm-hmm. My new modem came in. Like, it's pretty cool. Looks like a towel building, and then they like don't do too much with it. And I feel like you need to do.
Yeah. My biggest thing with that is like I want it to not look like what it used to be.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot of work in order to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And it can kind of.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I am so sorry.
I picked it up by the.
I am so sorry.
Well, look, it's your plastic cement.
Yeah. So while because you said earlier that like you almost had a spill, and I've been trying to tighten it. But while I assemble, I just put the cap down, and that's it. Because like trying to unscrew it every single time is a pain.
Did we just find bad hobby advice for?
I also do the same thing with accelerant as well too.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
I don't spray it, and so I'll just.
You dab it with a
I'll open it and then I'll just drip the accelerant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I would say like Microsol and Microset, right? Whenever you buy Microsol and Microset, like you only really ever use 10% of the bottle. You otherwise replace it because you spill the rest of it, right? Like you're never gonna use more than like one bottle of Microsol and Microset would last any human their entire life, but you have to buy every year or so because you spill it.
Or every time you need it, if you don't do a lot of decals, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you.
It's just a fact. We just come to accept that.
More bad hobby advice. I think it's great.
Bad hobby advice. Like, go ahead. Don't worry. Go ahead and spill your plastic cement, your accelerator, your Microsol.
Yeah. One thing I do like a lot about cement is it doesn't have as short of a shelf life as super glue does. Because this bottle I've had for a really long time. I've also kept it in my car as well too. So yeah, and like if you look at the actual bottle, there's like little plastic bits floating in it, and it doesn't really like do a whole lot. It makes it a little bit thicker.
I saw that and I was wondering like, wouldn't those just like melt down? Like what's going on?
It kind of sort of. It makes it a little bit thicker, but it doesn't like do too much to like the integrity of the glue. Like it doesn't affect how well it works. So that's why I like plastic cement a lot.
I actually think you're beating me.
Really?
In this race. Yeah, I think I'm looking what else I have left to do, and I think I have more than you to do.
I have a lot of mushrooms to put on.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Now, would you actually put those mushrooms on, or would you?
Oh, I would.
You
Yeah,
would?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah?
yeah.
You
When it
wouldn't- you
comes to
wouldn't
terrain,
sub-assembly that?
no. When it comes to terrain, I'm very sloppy with the way that I paint.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
And honestly, I would probably paint the mushrooms first, and then go through paint the actual rock
Got
around it.
But okay. You're right, and I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably also do it the same way. But I am just saying, little shoulder zoom here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, big shoulder. I'm just saying the mushrooms. If you look at the sprue, and you like, they are very separate. You have you would have significant sub-assembly potential here.
Oh, for sure.
Not that I would do it, but I'm actually like that's actually good to know. You could do some very serious sub-assembly with the mushrooms on this thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd probably go through and airbrush the mushrooms. Well, I'd prime the whole thing, probably put down like a layer of whatever I wanted sort of the rock to sort of pseudo be.
Yeah.
Airbrush the mushrooms and these specific mushrooms. Now there are mushrooms like these that are, I don't know what they're called. They're sort of like tree mushrooms, like tree ear mushrooms a little bit.
Yeah.
These ones I wouldn't airbrush. I would hand paint these in. But I would airbrush these. And then if I got too much overspray, I would just go in with like a really watered down paint and then just slap it on there. But I think it'd be cool to get like some sort of like cool OSL from them as well too. But when it comes to terrain and when it comes to big pieces like this, I kind of like to be sloppy because I'm so careful with everything else.
Yeah, it's like a release, right?
Yeah, that it's like, oh, I can be sloppy, then go in and clean it up. And I'm not super worried about how many layers of paint I'm putting on something like this.
Yeah, I feel like us people like you and I, Kat, where painting terrain is like a nice release. Mm-hmm. I feel like, we don't, well, I guess I'm tuning our horn here, but like that's great for all of our play buddies because it's like, hey, I painted enough models. Let me paint some terrain for us now.
It's a treat. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm realizing we're not the only ones benefiting off of this.
Right. And then, everyone else gets really nicely painted terrain.
Yeah.
Now, I still take forever when it comes to painting terrain, but it ends up becoming beautiful in the end. And then I don't want anyone to touch it, and then it's great.
We have a new schedule over at Tabletop Titans that we're embarking on, and I'm very excited for it because it's going to just make a lot of our lives easier. Some people who are wondering, like, wow, that sounds like a lot of work, guys. It's funny, none of us feel that way. Getting the new shows up and running has been a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the prep for the shows was
but
a lot, but
it almost happened again.
I screwed it on a little bit.
Yeah, you did screw it on a little bit. That's true. But realistically, I think like we're all. If you guys think about how like we have the staff to do 6 shows a week, and so we have the people to do it. I think we all are just excited about being on specific shows, having specific shows that we're doing, and certainly I feel like this is definitely probably less work for Adrian. I don't know about me, but I'm just very excited to get back to being able to like know when my schedule is and undertake large projects, right? Like it's been a while. Well, the train that we premiered on Monday Sigmar show was a project that kind of sunk myself into and knocked out in a couple weeks. But it has been a little while since I've been able to really sink myself into like a really serious terrain project.
Right.
And I would like to do that, right? I'd like to get back into like disappearing from all other hobbying for a little while, other than maybe a couple things on Hobby Times. When we stream here, but
it's world building, and it's differently creative.
Yeah. So it's been a bit since I've gone to do that, and I'm hoping to get back into building some kind of big, cool, wacky terrain thing very soon. Because it's been a little bit.
Yeah, I need to pick up some supplies for the rest of my buildings, for my cherry blossom table. But once I get that going, because it sucks because it's not like a store that I would normally go to. Like I have to go to like a Home Depot or something for it.
No, here, I can.
No, it's okay. So
Well,
I'm just like,
I'll let you know
I don't
next time
want
I
it.
go to Home Depot.
Okay.
Because you may know, we are streaming Sigmar now regularly on Mondays, which your board might be making an appearance. Not necessarily this season, because your board is a little too beautiful for the harsh realm of Gur, but definitely soon afterwards.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we're super excited. It is very beautiful. So, okay. I have to say, this bridge thing here that is on this thing is actually kind of a pain in the butt to put together. And it's weird because it was the opposite. Most of them I've been like, is this going to work? And then it works great. This one actually has like these, I don't know what you call these, really. It has supports, pretty defined areas where things need to go. And I'm finding...
Is the plastic warped a bit?
The long bridge might be a little bit, yeah, I think it's like just a little bit, ever so slightly, like bowed.
Right.
And I think that's causing a little bit of it. I also think my aim was not great the first time around. And I think I didn't glue it enough. You know, I kind of only glued there and hoped that would do it rather than gluing in like other places as well.
Now, would you normally use cement or would you normally use like plastic glue?
I tend to use plastic glue, but I love cement, and I just never buy it. This stuff that Brett loves that I also love, and then I just like go home and forget to buy it all the time over and over again. The Tamiya stuff, the Tamiya brand.
Yeah.
But I actually do almost prefer the cement, if I'm honest, to the plastic glue. I do like Games Workshop's plastic glue. I think it's pretty good. I literally just used... We ran out here. I don't know why or how. I think it migrates around. Oh, wait, there's one right here in my toolbox. It's right here, literally. Here it is. All right, one of them... Well, this is my personal one that I keep in my toolbox, I think. So there is one. That's good to know. I like it. I ran out here at the studio the other day and I need to use some. We have some Gale Force 9. What's it called?
Gale Force 9. That's
right. Yeah. I use that, and that stuff is... Oh, man. Gosh, dang it. I'm not in love with that.
Right.
It's stringy. Yeah.
I need some tweezers for these tiny little mushrooms.
We have a lot of tweezers.
Yes. But no needle nose pliers. So.
Needle nose pliers. We found out today. So I don't know. Like, actually, I'm going to switch to some Citadel plastic glue right now. I don't know. They're. I'm not sure that I can definitively say one's better than the other, like plastic glue or plastic cement. But I do think when it comes to plastic glue, I'm pretty into the Citadel stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with super glue, I don't even know if I've ever used their super glue. It seems like everybody says not to.
Oh, it comes in like the little toothpaste tube, right?
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it comes in like the tiny little toothpaste tube. I think it'd be too like thick. Like the opening is too big. It's just you don't get like a fine application with it. You'd almost have to use like a little dabbing tool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the AK glue. AK plastic glue. Yeah, Gale Force wins. Good one. I get it, Michael Cody. That's actually what made me ask if it was called Gale Force 9s. I was like, Gale Force 9s? That sounds like Gale Force wins. So I like the what is it? The one that we all get with the pink lid and the purple lid. Super glue too.
Yeah.
Arms Keeper or Bob Smith Industries.
Yeah, Bob Smith Industries is really what
names.
it is. Yeah. But you can get different labels on it, but yeah.
They're the ones that make the accelerator that we all use, and I have noticed that they're, like, not surprisingly, the accelerator seems to work best with their stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember if I felt like it didn't work at all with AK or something, like I was a little surprised that how it interacted with AK. It didn't quite work. Or was that when we were getting fume coming up? Remember
Ooh, yeah, I think so.
we were making tall grass reeds
Yeah.
for bases, and like fume, a little puff of fume was coming up every time we had the
Now AK now makes their own accelerant as well too. And the only thing with the AK super glue is that it's more expensive than the Bob Smith Industries one, and I don't think it's really any different.
Well, its lid is better. Its lid has that metal thing that keeps it.
So does the Bob Smith Industry ones. If you use, because they have these caps, like these.
Oh, you just have to buy them separate?
No, they're just different bottles.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen those. Have I seen those?
I would hope so.
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Wait, so the Bob Smith Industry ones comes in...
Yeah, they have separate caps like that, yeah.
Really?
And it's usually, I think, the 5-ounce ones that come with this. Or they have the ones where you cut the tip and then that's it. But you can also buy the caps separately as well, too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put that cap on like a bigger bottle or something. So, yeah, they have it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can point it out to you.
Okay.
Or next time I'm in one of the stores, I'll take a picture and send it to you.
Now I just know to look for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the metal thing there that like unclogs your work. Mm-hmm. Glue's tough.
Yeah.
Glue can be tough.
I very much prefer plastic cement over plastic glue. But yeah, I would agree. When it comes to plastic glue, I do prefer the GW ones.
I will say that people are a big fan of the little metal stick as an applicator. Mm-hmm. And I find that the metal stick usually clogs. And I find that the only way to unclog the metal stick is to put it in your mouth and blow.
Oh.
Or worse, put it in your mouth and inhale.
Oh.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone in chat can tell me a better way to unclog it, because it's not great. It's not a great sensation. I guess I would call that maybe my 5th piece of bad hobby advice.
Right.
If your Citadel plastic glue metal stick isn't applicating anymore, put it in your mouth and use it like a straw.
Yeah, it's really good for like the first couple weeks that you've had it, and then the plastic glue starts to like build up in it and get thicker inside the little tiny metal applicator.
Lighter to burn the glue out. I just don't think I even have a lighter anymore, like around like there are tools that, of course, I think I could find something small and thin enough to unclog
like
it also.
poke it in.
Yeah, but also I just don't have anything like that. I'm sure this is a solvable problem outside of inhaling the glue.
I would hope so. Because, that sounds like a...
Bad hobby advice?
Yeah, I mean, there was one piece of bad hobby advice that you really didn't want me to give because it was a dangerous one.
Oh, yeah.
So,
No, you're right.
I think that one, that one's almost worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Fishing line, yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the consistency, like the thin consistency
of the Citadel one, yeah.
Of the Citadel one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the metal applicator, like the older the glue is, the thicker it gets, and then it just doesn't want to flow through it anymore.
I don't think this one's working anymore. And this one's not that old. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this one does still work. Looks like no. Oh, no. I think it does. Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, yay.
But I don't need it here. That's the other thing. Like, I didn't even know it did this. Brett is the one that's like, this is what you use it for. And I'm like, wow, that's very cool. And then I tried it right away, and right away it didn't work. I always thought the metal thing was there just to keep it unclogged. You know what I mean? Just to, like, unclog the...
Oh.
Because it does that, too, right? I mean, it does do that. It keeps this unclogged.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is...
What? It does. And this,
so did you just take it out every single time?
Yeah, I leave it in the lid.
Oh, interesting.
And I just use it from here.
Interesting. That's an interesting take.
I mean, it works. I don't know. Like, how long of a plastic nozzle do you need on your glue?
I mean, like a thin, like precision applicator.
That's different, right? Yeah. And so I'm just like, this product just doesn't do that. But apparently it does. I just didn't know. I was using the precision applicator to keep it clean. And it worked. But yeah, wasn't exactly precision.
Yeah, now all of this model I'm finding is just gluing mushrooms to it, honestly. Gluing mushrooms to itself. Gluing mushrooms to other mushrooms. I got this side with mushies.
Nice.
Yeah, funnily enough, I don't like the taste of mushrooms.
Oh, you're not a mushrooms person?
No, but if it's in something and I can't really taste it, then I'll still eat it. That's fine.
What does that mean? Like, can you give me an example of that?
Oh, like if it's in like pasta sauce or something, like a marinara sauce, I won't really taste like mushroom. And so then...
Is it the texture you don't really like?
No, it's the taste of mushrooms that I don't like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's on pizza, like I taste more of like the pepperoni and stuff like that, and I'll still eat it. Like I won't pick it off.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I can't stand is corn.
Corn?
Yeah.
Flavor? Or like what? Like
The taste of fresh corn.
Really?
Yeah. Like corn on the cob or like canned corn. Corn bread also tastes like corn. Corn tortillas I don't like.
Really?
And it's been so fun living through like this whole big giant resurgence of like people loving corn because of the cute little boy who made the news or whatever. I forgot in what state.
What
but,
are you talking about?
Oh, you don't pay attention to the internet. I'm sorry.
That's not really true. I do, but I don't know what you're talking about. And paying attention to the internet is a little bit more of a newer thing for me. So
Right.
When
Yeah.
did this happen?
Like a while ago, maybe like a couple weeks ago or something. But
That's a while ago? I
there
guess
was
still
like
on the internet, right?
for the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like a news.
Oh, the little kid.
Yeah, the
and
corn
he's, like,
kid.
talking about-
Yes, and how much he loves corn
Yeah,
and how
I
sweet
know
it
what
is,
you're
and
talking about.
whatever. And then they made
I
this
don't
song.
think that has.
Yeah.
I don't think that has caused a resurgence in corn popularity.
Oh, 100% it has.
Okay, but it hasn't like changed the market for what is corn right now. Like, it's not like more people are bringing out corn-based products that quickly, right?
Like corn flavored products and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I don't know if they're bringing out new ones, but maybe they're like upping their marketing for ones that already exist.
Moving to the Bay Area, I was kind of surprised. So I think of corn as something that is very North American, and I was surprised moving to the Bay Area how often corn is in like East Asian cuisine, like ramen and stuff like that. You can almost always get like corn kernels in your ramen or your what else? Pho. Like I feel like you can find corn.
Pho, yeah.
Yeah. Corn in there.
You put corn in your pho?
I think I've seen corn in pho. I don't think I've seen it in just udon and ramen.
I've never seen it in udon, but ramen, yeah, I've seen it in ramen.
I guess maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it, but you're probably right. Probably just ramen. Anyway, kind of a surprise. But that's interesting. Not a fan of the corn flavor. I feel like that is no corn and fun, no bad. No, I don't know. Popcorn too.
I love popcorn. Like if it tastes like fresh corn, I don't like it. But I love popcorn because popcorn doesn't taste like corn.
Like it, no.
Yeah. But yeah, if it tastes like fresh corn, I'm not down for it. Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite flavors. I actually made like a creamy corn pasta sauce. I've made it a few times. That's like fresh corn on the cob, like simmered in cream and then like pureed.
Right.
Yeah, and like a little bit of other stuff added, and then like served over like homemade like spaghetti or fettuccine. Super good.
Is it?
Well, not to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't like the smell of it as well too. Like I just can't do it.
Wow. I mean, it is a very intense flavor. So I can't say it's weird, but I'm also just not sure I've ever like corn tortillas are so good. Mm-mm. So you're like enchiladas.
Yeah. Because it has to have corn tortillas. Yeah.
I think. Well, it probably doesn't have to, but they usually do, right?
Tamales.
Tamales. Oh yeah. You wouldn't like those at all. Well, those are all like, yeah, those are all great.
So, and it sucks because but I'll substitute like wheat or flour tortillas. That's totally fine. But yeah, I don't know.
Corn and rabbit. Yeah.
And it sucks because like people are like, really, corn? Like here, try this.
No,
try that. Try. How about this? And I'm like, I still don't like
that.
That
doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, I honestly like things flavored like corn that aren't just corn is a weird thing to me. Like again, I feel like you can find like drinks flavored like corn and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, especially for like a lot of Asian markets and stuff like that. Yeah, because it's like almost an American flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., like that wasn't like growing up. That wasn't ever a thing. Like it was like you ate Fritos, which are all corn, or you ate corn on the cob, which is obviously corn, right? But like you never got like candy or anything that was flavored like corn.
No,
but it makes sense.
Even candy corn isn't flavored like corn.
No, candy corn is absolutely not flavored like corn. It's flavored like weird.
It's flavored like icing.
Yeah, frosting or something.
Frosting, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, now I know about Cat. Oh, thanks, Liam. Liam said, oh my God, I get to catch a Hobby Time stream. Oh, that's right. Liam, I guess that makes sense because he is on
California time
right now. Which is great. Thank you, Liam, for catching Hobby Titans. Hopefully you had a good dinner. Liam is in town. Check out his channel of his same name, Liam Dempsey Warhammer. It's a great channel. I don't think we officially call it our sister channel here. We call the other Titans channels, but it's our sister studio, maybe we would call it. Although I'm the only one saying that. So if anyone gets mad at me, Liam, well, they're not going to get mad at me. How dare you call his channel our sister channel? But we share a lot of the same fans because we share a lot of the same mentality, which is don't be a jerk. Pretty simple, pretty clear.
Yeah.
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 What are you doing here? Holding it together?
Yeah, it fell off. I took too long to glue it on, and then I kept moving it, and then it was like, nope, I'm dry now.
I really think you're going to beat me to this. Because I have like this. Look at this. This is a mess.
True. Yeah, you're struggling with your pieces. Like your pieces are a lot bigger. I'm having to glue on like
you're having to glue,
small
and your
little
kit's
things.
So much newer. It's like a newer. Like here's a little spot for this. This is like okay. This is what I was hoping to avoid in an old kit. Like literally just these. Right? There's nothing.
Oh, there's no like
there's
holding.
Nothing. It's just like, cool.
Overlap. Yeah.
Be nice and flat up against each other.
Just put it together.
Yeah. Also, there's 4 of them. How am I even gonna? I hate this.
I'm sorry.
This is my nightmare right here. This is why I hate assembly. This piece right here.
Now I am glad that you are assembling it because this is mine. Yeah. And so now I'm like I didn't know that it was so bad.
Yeah.
So
I owe you some assembly. You've assembled so much of our stuff.
Oh.
So now you get this.
Thank you.
So you get this.
Thank you.
This is all you. All right. Well, look, I think we're just gonna have to do two at a time, and then hope they're perfect, and allow the third one to then.
Do you have rubber
on.
bands?
We do have rubber bands.
Yeah, so I would put them all together, rubber band it together, and then just paint the seams with.
All right. I'm gonna do that with the cement. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I was thinking about rubber banding them, but I also don't love this process. But let's see. We'll try it out. I've got like several rubber bands. So here we go.
Yeah. See, I would rubber band them together, and then paint the inside seams with this. Let it dry. Take the rubber bands off, then paint the outside seams.
Oh, that's okay.
Because if you rubber band into
you can't rubber. How can I even rubber?
Fresh cement and or rubber, like cement around rubber bands. I don't know how it would affect.
All right, here we go. We're gonna try this.
Okay.
It actually is gonna be good for rubber banding because it's got this little notch. Okay, hey, this might work.
Yeah, and I don't know what rubber cement.
Rubber cement?
I don't know what plastic cement would do to rubber bands, like structurally. I wonder if it would dry it out. But this is interesting watching you struggle.
It's gonna be. I'm not struggling.
We do have like the someone's mentioning blue tack, or Pat C is mentioning blue tack. We do have like the rock lamp.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is actually gonna work though. Here we go.
So I guess good assembly tip after a whole evening of bad assembly tips. And or maybe good assembly tips. I don't know.
This is almost like a weird, like one of those stupid stocking stuffer Christmas presents.
What?
I mean, it's probably a 90s thing.
That's a very specific reference.
All right. Hey, I think we got it. Okay.
Are you talking about like those like 3D puzzles?
Or like no, this isn't working. Yeah, this is not a good rubber band thing. Okay, here we go. This one. Okay. What if this was just like 8 hours of this?
Of watching you struggle?
Yeah, that'd be amazing on the stream. Okay.
Now
okay.
don't touch it. Yeah. Now I think it's hard to tell, but it is lopsided, so you do have to fix it a little bit. We're all just watching you. I'm trying to talk, so it's not just quiet.
Yeah.
But you know, it's entertaining in its own way. There's several different things that you can use. You don't have to just stick to rubber bands.
I think I had it, but now trying to fix the lopsidedness, I think it's gonna implode again.
Do you want this? Whatever it is?
What is that gonna do?
I don't know. Help you stick it together, right?
Okay, here's what's happening right now. Okay, all right. I'm gonna take this, but I don't know if I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna set it here. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into this, someone is saying to use the base of the roof to line it up.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Okay.
The base of the roof. Wait.
Which is this, right?
Yeah, this is the ceiling. This is the base. Okay. This could work. Whose idea was this?
I don't know. You'd have to scroll up.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
I think we're getting it. We're getting it, guys.
Yeah,
we're getting it. Thank you. But
the problem.
Let me.
Oh, I see. You know what?
Michael Clark. Thank you, Dames and Games, for your message as well too. I think also Liam said to use the base of the roof as well too. So, you know, a couple people.
Actually, I don't know that the base is going to do it. I think the ceiling is going to do it. Yeah. The base is weird. It's almost like it's a circle, and the base is really awesome for going here. But then this, hopefully I can do this without it breaking. This is like not really anything, right? Like it's gonna drop in here, which is also pretty good. You're right. Okay. Awesome.
All right,
okay, look, now it's perfect.
Slather cement on all the seams, and then we're good.
Okay. We got there.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. It was a team effort between you and
Not
chat.
not really me.
You,
I mean, I guess
the
I was.
kit, and chat.
It was kind of it was like in an action movie when like it's down to like Keanu Reeves having to get a call to like defuse a bomb. You know, clearly he doesn't know what he's doing, but you just hope he can tell the difference between. It's like the movie
there.
Speed. It's like the whole movie, entire movie Speed. That was
Right.
Speed, basically like Speed, or like in The Abyss.
I've never seen that.
I know nobody does. Nobody does seen it.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I think that defeated you, like mentally defeated you a little bit. It's okay. The bad model's gone now.
Oh, hey guys, guess what? I'm starting to lash out now and call Cat out. Once again, this almost happened. All right, that's officially Cat's bad hobby practice. But you know what? You don't normally hobby with other people, like with stuff like
No.
this.
And
so-
is it bad? Is it bad? Is it really bad? It makes it easy for me to just pick it up and then put it on and then at least I'm putting it back into the pot somewhat closed, right?
You're right. But what is interesting is I'm like, literally, I made the joke about microsol microset. I am like super aggressive into how much actually I want to do this first.
Hold on, sorry. One piece.
Help yourself. I'm super aggressive into how hardcore I am about sealing up my microsol and microset after using it.
Okay.
Like yeah.
It is open.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know what to expect now. So it's okay. Well, actually, I should have used plastic glue here. That's okay. Even just to save some of your cement. It doesn't smell as good, though, that's for sure.
No. Plastic glue. Oh, what was another chemical that smelled really good that I was like, this shouldn't smell like this? Meg. No, was it Meg or was it AK who came out with all the new like war game colors and stuff? I think it was Meg because it's just the shape of the bottle. But they came out with a mineral spirit or so like a oil thinner, and it's like specifically fruit smell, and it smells like hairspray, like scented hairspray, so like good scented hair care products, but it's mineral spirits, and I'm like, I shouldn't like smelling this. There should be a bad smell to it, to a point where like I smelled it a little bit too much and I got a headache, and I'm like, yeah, this shouldn't smell good.
Right. Oh no.
Oh
No. We're starting over.
no. Oh no.
We're starting over, guys.
We almost had it.
We almost had
Almost
it. I should have used plastic glue here, not the cement. Okay, well, it'll be easier the second time around.
Lessons have been learned.
At this point,
I think we're good.
Forget the rubber band. It's all gone. Everything we worked for. We're just gonna do it one piece at a time. The base technique was really it. But honestly, I think I might use the top. I think the top is gonna be where it's at.
Yeah.
Because the top has these little bumps. Maybe through a combination of the top and the bottom, we can do this. I will say this. This sucks.
Yeah. But I will say thank you, Liberty Fires, who says, Liam.
Oh, thank you, Liberty Fires.
Thank you.
I might have missed your super chat if I'm honest because of the rage that I'm feeling currently.
It's very controlled rage, honestly.
Yeah, my rage is usually pretty controlled.
I'm sorry. We can go back to the bad hobby advice earlier, and it's like, oh, if there's a gap, which honestly, this would be considered a really big gap.
Yeah, don't fill it.
Just don't.
Yeah, the gap is assembling the entire thing. This is actually it. This is great. Actually, this is how it always should have been done. Did they say to do that? No. They just show all four of them magically going together. Okay, this is it though. This is the ticket right here.
We got it. We got it.
I probably need to be patient each time with each slice. Okay, so that's been assembled. Yeah, because they actually even tell you to do the top platform after you've done this. Not great advice. Okay. No, I'm not gonna break on stream, Ty. I'm okay.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time. It's okay. I think while we watch you struggle with that, did we want to do some fan stuff?
Oh, we do want to do fan stuff. Yes. Okay. Whoa. Oh. Who was this? We knew who this was. Oh.
Daka, the guy who usually I show
Crazy
off
Terrain.
his terrain, but I found some models that he had posted, which is really cool.
He posted a couple different nights. 2 or 3, I don't remember.
3, I believe.
Yeah, and we were kind of debating which one to pick, but we went with this one. What do you like about this one?
I mean, it's Legion of the Damned.
Oh yeah, it kind of is, huh? Is
Yeah.
it specifically? Yeah, it's super cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love the little shield thing has all this like texture built into it.
Yeah. So on all 3 of them, he did a lot of like, I don't know if he would consider it conversion. Well, it's sort of conversion work. Like some resculpts and stuff like that. One of them was like a Chaos Knight that he had bedazzled, which I thought was really cool. And it was very chaos. But
wait, did he actually use like a bedazzler on it?
Yeah.
That's freaking amazing. I missed that when we were talking about it.
Oh, did you just think I just said bedazzle just because?
I thought you were just using bedazzled in a colloquial.
Oh.
In a colloquial sort of non
as one does,
non-brand way.
Yeah. No, he bedazzled.
As one might use the word pizzazz.
Bedazzled.
But you actually meant literally bedazzled. Do they still make bedazzleds?
I have no idea.
All right, guys. If you ever have to put this thing together, do it this way. Not the first way I was trying to do.
Yeah, I guess also maybe another stream we can do is just we bedazzle models. I think that'd be cool.
Things, yeah. This is super cool. This sort of built-up texture thing on the shield, though, is kind of his style. We see that in his terrain. I love when you see a style of a hobbyist. It's super cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really what makes a super cool hobbyist is when they start to kind of have their own
when
style.
you start to recognize their work, even removed from like their name.
And even if I don't like this style, I always end up just like being super into it, right? Like, there are people whose style I really love. I really love Saresco's style. There he is, Saresco. And obviously because we're having him paint stuff for us. And his style is like just super bright, like yours and like you and I like. So like Shocker, we like that. But that's like a no-brainer that I'm gonna like that style. I like even super grungy paint jobs like that people do over and over again. Like if they're consistent, it's pretty cool. Totally Not Panicking. Do you know him on Instagram? If anyone knows Totally Not Panic on Instagram.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you were totally not panicking because you forgot a name or something.
The person's name is Totally Not Panicking, and he does almost like everything's kind of based on like bizarre Silent Hill, Cronenberg style, like very disgusting things, and it's also cool. It's heavily weathered. It's like 90%
grimdark.
Yeah, it's super cool. This looks awesome. Oh, this guy had a number of things.
Yeah. So he had. Well, I don't know if it was he, but they had a bunch of posts or a bunch of pictures and stuff of all of these models. So they had like a whole like little tiny squad of like I don't know what they were, but like a couple different dreadnoughts and some like infantry units and stuff.
Yeah.
I picked this one because I love collages, but I mainly really like collages, mostly just because there's often times where I'm like, people will post a bunch of different angles of their mini, and it's hard for me to choose which one, like, oh, this one's best, but like, oh, I really like the back of it, but I can't just show the back of a model unless it's like, that's what they're trying to.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, this one was really cool, and there's a bunch of pictures of, like, I want to say like 7 or 8 models painted similar style, similar
look. Infantry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. Very cool stuff. Nice and clean, but not like, sometimes clean means they didn't put a lot of effort into it. A lot of effort put into this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good look. Oh, this was super cool. They did the base we really loved on Bionix. Bionic, big supporter of the show. We see him around here a lot. We love this base, this autumny base, and all the painting was really nicely done. You really did a good job of having this spirit tucked into the wooden part, right?
Yeah, I liked the turquoise with the orange. I thought it was a really good color combination. Obviously, I really like the fact that you put your name on it.
Yeah, we love that.
I've said time and time again, if you put your name on it, I will pick it. If I see it, also. There are 3 main threads that I will look through, which is the normal Hobby Titans chat, Hobby Progress, and Armies on Parade. Oh, and I'll poke through terrain, but not a lot of posts on there. But yeah, I liked the color combination, and it was very fall.
Yeah.
Oh, conversion too, is what Nick is saying. So
this is really Spite Revenant, or what are they called? Not Spite Revenant. The little choppy guy. I forget his name. I'm guessing. Yeah, he looks super cool.
Yeah, good job.
Sylvaneth Cool Army. A lot of cool. Yeah, that sounds like a good game, Nick. Nurgle's tough.
So this is Timbit.
Okay.
I picked it because it was cute, but there's another Timbit thing somewhere in here as well too. But I know for a fact that this was Timbit, and Timbit, it's I'm just painting miniature paintings.
I mean,
it's mini painting.
You have to talk me into thinking this is awesome. I love it.
But yeah, Timbit, as we know, has been doing a ton of freehand work and been showing off their skills. So yeah, that frog is so cute.
Oh, there's a little frog there. Yeah, I didn't even see the frog. I kind of just saw the whole scene. Yeah, this is very nice. That's tiny. Mm-hmm. Or Timbit has giant hands.
Which, honestly, I think would make painting this small even harder in a way.
Yeah.
So
this is a cool Custodes color combo, actually. I don't think I've seen this teal with the gold.
Oh, the super bright teal?
You and I talk about how we love the green and gold look a lot, and I love actually when people do black and gold with Custodes. Mm-hmm. But this is pretty cool. It's
very bright. It almost looks like a mosaic tile in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like a Spanish tile.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, I just raised this optional assembly options here.
Oh.
I built you the tower and the second tower.
Uh-huh.
But there was also a observatory.
Oh, a little dome?
Yeah.
Can you not glue that one on and then?
Let's do that tonight. But ultimately, one of them's gonna have to stick somehow. Maybe a magnet.
Or is the bottom used for both, and you glued that in, didn't you?
The bottom is not used for both. Oh yeah, the bottom is used for both. I could pry this out though.
Okay.
Let's pry this out.
Okay. Okay. Because I really like the dome, and so yeah, one of the stores is obviously in Redwood City. We talked about it a bunch before. There you go. Yeah. We talked about it a bunch before, but I like to take walks on my lunch breaks and stuff. And a big thing with the downtown Redwood City is a lot of the buildings have these brass domes on them, and I just love staring at them. So I kind of want to paint it as a brass dome and patina the heck out of it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Obviously, you had me at the very end of that, which was
patina.
Okay, so that's there, and I did spend a lot of time building this really hard to build one.
And I don't want to
No, I'm just kidding. It's
not appreciate your
Let's make sure the plank
effort.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Then there's a plank. All right. I think we can actually have it interchangeable.
Could we perhaps put the dome on top of the tower?
We can look. I'm going to guess the answer to that question is definitely yes, but is it designed to do that? All right, let's actually, we should get through fan stuff. We're talking about things.
Now,
what's
this
going on here?
was some sculpting. They sculpted some green stuff flames on it, and there's a skull as a head, so I'm going to assume that this is a Legion of the Damned model, which
It looks like Legion of the Damned Primaris. Yeah.
we all know I love.
Yeah.
I love specifically. You do. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
wanna speak
love
for you,
Legion
but,
of the Damned, but they're cool.
yeah, I love Legion of the Damned. So.
Yeah.
But I also want to show off like conversion work and stuff like that. I love seeing, especially kit bash models and like heavily converted, heavily converted models and stuff. I love seeing them gray and green like this, and seeing all the sculpting
The
work
process,
and
because you really like when people do these and they do a really good job, and then you see them on Instagram and it's fully finished. You can't even tell, and that's insane in a whole nother way and super cool, right?
It's really cool. And for someone like me who like I don't know all the little bits and pieces of like specific models and stuff, it's hard for me to immediately go, oh, that's converted, unless it's super obvious.
Right.
And sometimes you don't want it to be super obvious. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh, we've been seeing. This is
Timbit.
This is Timbits. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of this, and it's this army is coming along awesomely. Yeah, loving this white scars. Getting a little bit of the yellow in there, super cool.
Yeah. I believe he said that this was his second rhino.
You gotta have
right?
two rhinos, I'm sure.
This is.
I have not played Heresy,
This
but
is a
I
rhino.
can only imagine. This is a rhino.
Okay, sweet.
Cat's whispering into her mic. Is this a rhino? The mic's gonna hear you before I am.
It's okay. As long as chat knows I'm trying, we're good. Yeah, and the other one looks just as good, which is crazy to me. But yeah, and the fact that like they're able to pump it out so like consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They're getting
great.
a lot of hobbying done, which is always great to see.
Yeah.
Maybe one of my favorite things to see, honestly, from somebody in the community. Oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah, this is Michael Cody did this too with the dice. I was wondering, and I see the 7 there, which of course I appreciate. I've been wondering what's up with the people posing people on dice thing. I was asking about this. It's cool.
I think it's cool. It like raises. This is a character, right? Or this would be a character.
I don't even know what this is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's like is this like a chaos? What is this?
Oh,
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
look it up.
If it is a character, it's kind of cool because it like raises it up above everyone else, and it's easy to tell like, okay, this is what it is. Because for someone like me, like I don't know, you know, and like I would have to ask a million questions while like during gameplay, like, oh, who is this? What do they do? So on and so forth.
Yeah.
Which can get kind of annoying. But when it's like, oh, this is like the special person, then you know, it's great. But
Dropped a bit.
I think the dice are kind of cute.
Yeah, weirdly, it seems like something I'd not be into, but I'm weirdly like super into it.
Oh, it's not the floors bit?
No, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. It was cool, and the dice match and everything, and obviously this is like a nod to the studio,
Oh,
so I had to pick it.
Michael Cody, you painted this? It's a tribute to Millet. Oh, it's like a sister. Okay, I see it now.
Oh, cute. Michael Cody.
Yeah.
Where's your name?
Yeah, Michael Cody. Try to do this nice thing for us.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so I was like, are more people than just Michael Cody doing the dice thing, or is that just Michael Cody? Right now, it looks like it's just Michael Cody. But the rest of the community is on blast to put dice on your base, because I'm kind of into it.
We will make sure that Mel sees it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I like his base.
Yeah.
Speaking of bases.
Yeah, I just liked how like the colors on it are like primary blue, primary red. And it was it's very bold, but it works. And like with the weathering and stuff like that, it takes down the brightness, which I think makes it work a little bit better.
Otherwise, like blue and red like that, it looks like a
Almost clashing
like a
in a way.
4-year-old boy's bedroom, right?
Like crayon, yeah, something like that, yeah. But no, it works, and it blends it together, and it makes it look less like pop,
Yeah.
and more just like, no, this is what it is.
Which can be a look, right? But yeah, not. I don't think it's what they were going for, and I think they didn't get it, so which is good. And I like I do really like the base actually a lot.
The tactical rocks are always
The
great.
tactical rocks are great. Yeah, this is super cool. Really nice stuff this week.
Yeah, it started off great. When the first like picture that I see is like killer, I'm like, I got so excited.
Yeah.
This one is, the name's kind of hidden, but it's Lazo.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what the models are, but it was really cool. It was well done. I liked it.
This is what do you know what these are? What are these? This looks like a
No idea.
chaos band or a Warcry band? I don't think that's what it is.
It's some sort of like humanoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also a bunch of them, so
Yeah.
I appreciate the name and the picture.
Yeah, these look great. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, I saw this one. This one was super cool.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I like the models. I don't know what they are, but the models are really cool, especially together. I've talked about how much I like the staff on the one in the back a lot before.
The Master of Possession.
But both of these together
Yeah.
are just really cool.
I
I
like-
like the base too.
I'm a big fan of bloodletters looking like this dark instead of red.
Mm-hmm.
Red's cool, nothing wrong with that, but I actually really like the gray or darker colored bloodletters and then the sword. Because like a bloodletter is really a lot about his sword, right? Like it's this little demon carrying this giant sword, two-handed sword. And it's a look you don't really see, quite honestly, in a lot of 40K or even Sigmar, because these units, well, the Bloodletter is both a unit in Sigmar and 40K. And you don't really see like a little single infantry thing with like a big two-handed sword that often. I think Stormcast has something kind of like that. And then there's Blade Guard, of course. Well, Blade Guard have a shield. Right? There's like Sword Brethren or whatever. But it's a cool look, like this big two-handed sword in the demon. And I kind of like making it about the sword. I think this is actually the Herald of Khorne, not the exact blood letter, but he's pretty much a big blood letter. Super cool. Yeah, the lighting effects and with the lightning fugues, but just the lighting on those past ones are great. Oh boy, here it is. Cat still into these guys.
So there wasn't enough, and I did joke about it, but also I was being kind of serious as well too. I think everyone now knows how much I love the Votann models. I wanted to make a separate like fan stuff Votann. There wasn't enough, and there was also too much of like non-Votann.
There was too much non-Votann.
Yeah, in
Guys.
order to.
What's wrong with you out there?
They're cute. They're cute. They're super cute. I love them a lot, and every single one that I've seen so far, I like them all. Yeah, Fugs, oops, all Votann. But
Yeah.
it's not an oops. It was going to be a very purposeful thing. They're just, I think there were like 5 or 6 pictures that I saw. And there was definitely over 15 fan stuff. So I couldn't lump everything else in one. So
I love
Yeah.
that we were at a point where we thought about maybe doing 2 fan stuffs, one of them only Votann.
I would have loved it.
He looks great.
I want more Votann.
The
That's really me saying I want more
know.
Votann. Put your name on things. Collages of Votann and your name. A plus.
The continuing trend, by the way, of us seeing more Votann with helmet on than helmet off.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a Votann with helmet on.
I don't.
At least in fan stuff, yeah.
Yeah, awesome digital design. Yeah, I know you were super excited for him. Looking forward to seeing yours coming out. Okay, I see the dilemma we're gonna get into here, Kat, with the 2 options. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about it and you can decide.
Okay.
I think you're gonna want the dome still, but I'll show you. Okay, super cool. Oh, this is dope.
Where does this go? Yeah. There was a couple like different angle pictures of it as well too.
This is a conversion for sure, right? This is not
I
a
have no
real
idea.
unit. This is nothing I've seen.
It doesn't look like a bike I've seen
No,
for
I
sure.
don't think so.
So at least the bike's converted. I don't know about the dude on top, but the bike is at least converted for
Yeah,
sure.
this is super cool.
Oh, that's where it goes. Okay. Yeah, see, a big thing of like what I was talking about earlier with the Bandai kits, like being very specific of like this goes here. All of these mushrooms go in very specific spots, but I get 2-ish, maybe 3 angles to work with. And like all of it is in black and white. Nothing is like a different color. And so it's not super obvious of like, no, it goes right here.
Right.
So.
Oh, wait, on the very back of this, it looks like you can do both. Okay, we're going to keep going. I'm going to start working. Oh, this is so cool. This is like a very, like, grayscale kind of a thing going on. Almost, right?
No. It is, I don't know, you probably can't tell on the monitor, but it is green. Like the torso is green and the wings are like a purple.
Purplish, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's very desaturated. It's very grimdark. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's not grayscale.
No, but
although,
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Even a work in progress, I was like, this is amazing. This needs to go up there.
Yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, this is very cool. Okay, we can do both. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, really cool. Oh, more Rotan. Okay, yeah, well, what can we say?
I mean,
what do you want her to do, guys?
what do you want me to do? Not pick it? Like,
yeah,
I'm just...
what do you expect at this point?
I'm going to pick it. I think they're the cutest 40K models. So I'm going to pick them.
They might be. I mean, objectively, they might be the cutest 40K models. Yeah. Yeah, they are super cute, these little idiots. Little Custodes action here.
Yeah, by Andy B. Thank you so much for putting your name on it.
Yeah, super cool.
But yeah, the shields are like super red. It's kind of hard to tell.
No, I can because they look normal, which means on our monitor they're probably really cool. And also I'll point out that again, super cool bases, very vivid bases. I think the like vividness of all this is kind of like what I'm into. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's super bright on this one.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, great.
Very nice. Okay, moving on. Oh no.
Oh no.
Moving on. Oh, we were here already.
Well, no, because you stopped it, so you started it back over again.
Oh,
okay, that was the end. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was the end of the first one.
Oh, there's 2 again? Oh my God, Kat and her fan stuff. Kat loves you guys. I'm not going to say more than I do.
You did say it last week, though, so...
Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to say it again.
I'm just going to point it out that you did say it last week.
Okay, fan stuff 2. Here we go. Oh, little Illuminor. Is this Illuminor Caesaris, guys? Or is this just a generic? Oh, no, this is the... Is the Scorekept Lord? Is that who this is? What is this? Is there like is this conversion between those 2 models? Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's cool though.
I like the sword.
Yeah, it's cool. Either way, it's cool.
But I love the weathering on it as well too, in the base. But the weathering is really what piqued my interest.
Yeah, this is cool.
So great job on that.
Yeah, weathering Necrons. Like without going overboard?
Ooh, no, I like some grungy, like rust grungy? Bucket Necrons. I think they're like the most terrifying.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's true.
Because then that really shows that their like programming is like, and like their minds and stuff are just not okay, right? Because they're really all about making things pristine and like having things not be correct.
Right.
It's like a flaw.
No,
so
that's true.
Yeah, the more messed up they look, it's like, oh, it's kind of scary. It's unpredictable.
Windrunner Siegers. Super cool. Moving on. Umi.
Yeah.
Why does it say this one? Umi?
Well, because there was another thing of like, they did their Kratos and whatever, and I think they're comparing it to, I don't know what it is, what's next to it, but Yeah, they matched it
I
up
see,
is
I
really
see.
what it was.
Yeah.
So that's the one that they were like, this is what I just did.
Right.
But they matched it up with everything else. So yeah.
Yeah, this is
Good job,
super cool.
Umi.
Yeah. Yeah, this is nice. These are ultramarine.
But only look at the one on the left. You're not allowed to look at the one on the right.
Yeah, don't. What's going on here?
Oh, I don't know. It was like
It's
it's
like
like
a
a
conversion?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this
this
was
is
one I could
interesting.
tell was a conversion. But
Yeah.
there's like this giant like bone like skull like strapped to the front of it, and it looks like a bird.
Okay, it's a Tyranid skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it made it look like a little bird, which I thought was cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of digging this actually. This is pretty interesting. Very nice. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, these are Cool Boys. We saw these Cool Boys. These are super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these ones were done really well. So, they're green, right? Yeah, they're green. So yeah, these would be like typical Cool Boys then. But I don't know. I think they would look really cool with like some pale yellow skin. I think that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean certainly, right? Like, yellow. I think there's a lot of colors you could do, but
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, these ones are super, super, super well done. So honestly, I think I can picture any sort of skin color on them and have it look good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, these guys look great. Yeah, and honestly, like doing drab, but making drab look like still pop, it's kind of hard.
making drab look fab.
Making drab look fab.
Wow.
Oh, I think we have a hobby titan episode. Yeah, more like Cool Boys. Yeah, these guys are super cool. And like I said, very fab for the drab. Oh, here we go. This guy. Oh, we've seen
Super bright.
We've seen a few of these. This guy's stuff before, right? I feel like this has been popping up because it's almost like a teal, right? It's like starting to be a little bit teal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it has kind of a unique tone to it for ultramarines. But this has been popping up the past month or so as this person's been completing models for the army, and I'm super into it. I think we saw some intercessors a little while back.
Yeah.
And their base is the base purple or blue or something as well too, right? Isn't the base kind of funky?
It's not black for sure.
It's like yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, I've definitely been into whatever this person's been up to. Like that's my best way of saying it. It sounds nefarious, but it's not. I'm into whatever they've been up to. I'll just say it that way.
You're picking up whatever they're putting down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, I do not know how this is gonna work. Okay, all right. Sorry, staying with fan stuff here. Oh yeah, this is super cool. Is there more shots of what they're up to here?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ones, and there's honestly one that's like a little bit bigger than this. I liked this one because the segmented tube on the right side was shiny, and I liked it. It looked like it had been touched, and like getting those little details of like, oh no, this has been touched, but like these other things haven't, or like this has been recently replaced, but
Right.
these other ones haven't.
Yeah.
Really like I like tells to me that's a better weathering story than just like I'm just gonna cover all of this in corrosion, because like yeah, things corrode to a point, and then if they're still in use, like someone's gonna go in and fix it, and replace what needs to be replaced, and like they're not always going to replace every single piece every single time. So
No, super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I want to see the rest of this. Oh, talk to us about this.
yeah, this one I saw actually over the weekend, and I loved every bit of it. Now it's just the base that they're showing off here, but it's really cool. There's a bunch of other pictures of it on I think it's the Hobby Progress channel, but yeah, like the little pond and stuff has just all these cute little like knickknacks in it, and like
Yeah, I'm shocked. For as much as you were loving the base, you went with the full size pick.
I wanted to show off what it really was.
Yeah.
And really, mainly, a lot of times when I'm picking something, it's like I want to show the whole scope of it.
Right.
And if you want to see the details, you're going to have to join the Discord.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, this one's super cool. There's like 2 or 3 other picks of the base, and it's awesome. Oh, I love this. I love this like Chaos Knight in these bright colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super cool. Nice base too. Look at a little gear down there.
It's
Nice
cute.
little touch. Yeah.
It's cute. And it's funny because it's a Chaos Knight, but it's like pristine.
Yeah, which I'm into. Like, and it's like a thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like some chapters are kind of like that. I think like Emperor's Children are kind of into that. Yeah,
I'm
cool.
into it. So.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, super into this. I love the skull head.
Yeah, when these came out, I was like all about the skull heads and faces and stuff.
The skull head is super cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I like where this is going. These guys like need basing right, but I really like where this is.
Yeah, it's like a metallic purple.
Yeah, I like where this is headed.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm not sure I've actually seen anyone do that yet with them.
No, yeah, I've seen a lot of blue, a lot of yellow, and a lot of white. But metallic purple is different, but it's still Votan, so I still picked it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
like, see, I kind of like this a little bit better than me making like a single Votan, whatever slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like sprinkled in, and like you never know, is the next one going to be Votan? Because I know there's more, so. Yeah, I know there's at least one more.
Look, I think we can have it go either way in the future. Like if you can't control yourself, which I'm totally cool with. When it comes to your love for these space dwarves, then I'm gonna say like let's just do an all Votan one.
Yeah.
Cat's all Votan fan stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
I need people to paint more Votan.
Oh, Soups, what is this? Whoa, what's going on here? This is super cool.
Yeah, so there's gonna be 2 of Soups, I believe. Because I want to show off this one, but it was like a cool, like encapsulated squig.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, and like the squig inside is like a pale, like dead sort of thing, but it's frozen, and I just thought it was really cool. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, Figs is saying like he did that in like an hour. So
That's really cool. Sometimes these funky hobby tools, playing around with weird resin or weird weathering stuff, can actually get you like some crazy gains in a short period of time. I feel like, which is cool.
Yeah, I thought this was very unique.
Yeah.
And creative.
Okay, sorry guys, if I've gone quiet for a second, I'm gluing a very ridiculous part of this model. This cat can attest to. Okay.
It's the stairs.
It's the stairs. It's somewhat ridiculous. I am glad we can do both, though, because we'll see when we come back to it. Oh, little dark angels here. Loving this. 2 different kind of color schemes going on here. Mm-hmm. Michael Cody, this is like what you were like. Wait, is this you, Michael Cody? No.
Maybe.
Because I know Michael Cody does No, he does like a white, like a very white. Dark Angels. Well, whatever's going on here, I'm into it. Both of these. I do like the bone, but I do like the white Dark Angels too. This is very cool. Oh, 18 months ago. Okay, and you said you didn't like the bone. Yeah. Wait, left was just finished. Right one was just finished, right? They both look good. I think I'm with you. I don't know. They both look great. I think I'm with you. Oh
no.
I kind of like the less bone one. At least it's different. It's unique. Yeah, these are super cool. I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. Oh, look. Hey, I actually love this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is when I was like, oh, this is great. And they have like little NASA decals and stuff on it.
Oh,
as well
really?
Too. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just like a white thing. Like, it's supposed to be like an astronaut.
Yeah, I kind of love this actually.
Which is super cute. At first I thought I was like, oh, it's like it's cute. It's white and it's all white and it's very but they're on the moon. The base is like a moon. Yeah, they have like little NASA details and decals.
This is so cool, if I'm honest. And I like for me, if I was making an army, so it's a cool, like, cute thing that they did. If I was making the army, I wouldn't put the NASA stuff on, right? Of course, I'm glad this exists. But even if they had just like made an army of this and like had their own decal or whatever, it'd be super cool. Like the super white Votan, I'm really into this. I actually think they're like a great army to paint once you get the helmets on them, because even like the ones Adrian and I did, like he got really far gains just by airbrushing, doing a little stencil work, and then I just like filled in the visors, and like you're pretty far along, and it feels good. It doesn't feel like a NASA astronaut. It doesn't feel like their backpack needs to be a different color. Like you need to go in and do dry, like, layer paint on the backpack, because otherwise it's all like they're so small that I think if you just touch in one or two other areas with a different color, it goes a long way.
Yeah, they're great for what's it called?
Slap shop or whatever?
No. I mean, yeah, sure, but
the new trend.
No, getting in like the recesses, recess washing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like those, like that and dry brushing stuff. I feel like they like actually going to paint up kind of easy. Soups. I do love soup spaces here. I'm loving this army.
A little update on the little cherry blossom Eldar.
Yeah, one day I will get back into 40K. I mean, I'm still pretty much into 40K. I'm just, time is short, and I'm playing a lot of Sigma right now. But and I'll get to the UK, and I'll get to play Soups' Cherry Blossom Eldar army. Would be very exciting. It'd be like a milestone for sure.
It'd be very cute.
Yeah.
Now, if only you could play it on the Cherry Blossom board.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I like the raked sand look on here.
Yeah, the raked sand's very cool. He does a lot of interesting stuff. What a weird, interesting, wonderful hobbyist. And frankly, we've been like featuring his stuff forever, because he was an early adopter of putting his name on things. So like we've been like showing his stuff for a really long time.
Yeah, and then there was a moment where I couldn't upload anything, but now I can.
We're back. We're back in business. Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Very lovely. Oh, big night. Big cast night? Yeah, no.
Yeah. It was a purple, like,
yeah,
swirly
this was
things.
like the almost like the synth wavy vibe. Yeah, I'm into this, obviously. Super cool.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the pattern on everything is what stuck out. But yeah, it was super, super cool.
Yeah. These guys are amazing, honestly. I'd love another army that would be like so cool to play against. Yeah, loving this. And there we are.
Yay.
For some reason, I into the stop button. Okay, so let me give an update. I'm almost done. I have one minor detail left, or a couple, like minor details left. Okay, here are the options, folks at home. So you could put. I ended up gluing the tower, and the two options really are this. Well, okay. You can just put the observatory right there. Okay, but I didn't, because it does go on top. Okay, and actually I think that's the look.
Yeah.
But here are the other options. Okay, instead of the observatory, so observatory only, tower plus observatory. That's what I think we're gonna do. It's your piece, so you tell me. We're not going back to observatory only. I can tell you that.
Right.
We're way past that. It's too late. It's too late. And I think you don't want that, because if you do that, you lose this like super cool staircase.
Okay, now I will tell you something.
Yes.
Turn it back around. Really quick, just really quick. So that little platform there, right, is supposed to go to the door?
This one?
Yeah.
It goes to this door.
Oh, okay.
It's a little longer than it needs to be.
Okay.
I thought that was weird, but
okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, why are there like so many doors?
Okay, so I can answer that. And you might be right that I should have it one more over, but they give you little things to cover the doors.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
yeah.
got a little scared.
Like
that
there
you
are
had-
like there's a stupid hanging door here. Is what Kat's saying. And
and
it should
up here as
be
well, too.
and here too. Yeah, and they give you two little things to cover those.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
they're like windows. It turns
perfect.
doors into windows, skull windows, of
Great.
course. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, that's great. It's a nice touch that they thought of that, though, right?
But now I'm wondering, like, why put multiple doors on it?
Well, it's just that they wanted each one to be the same. It's the same. There's 3 of these, and they're all, I think, the same.
I see.
Yeah, which I kind of appreciate because it wasn't the type of thing that you want to get wrong.
I guess, but like, really, the only thing that you would be getting wrong is like how you turn it and put it on there.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you did, you'd be furious with yourself. Trust me, because this plank of wood thing was no walk in the park to put together.
Fair.
These stairs. So the stairs are super cool. I think like this is really the coolest part, which is why personally I don't think you want just the thing because
Okay.
you lose this this is like you're talking about telling a story. Like this is cool, right? Like
Yeah.
you'd be terrified to go up here. No, go down. Oh my god, imagine having to walk down those stairs. Like on
I'm
a
not
daily
afraid
basis.
of heights.
I'm not either, but like still, right? Like, okay. All right, then this can go here, and I think that's the look you want. Here's the other option. There is like little battlements that you can also do up here. You can do like a little battlement thing.
Could you fit the dome in it?
Battlements and dome. Well, the battlements go on the outside.
Ooh, you can. You can. But I don't like it. I don't like the battlements.
You don't like it?
I don't like the battlements.
The battlements like make me think that this thing wouldn't work
Yeah.
as well. Like it would hit them.
Yeah.
Or
It also takes away from like the brass dome.
yeah,
that I
because
wanna make.
we're gonna leave this off. Always we'll leave this off. I don't know that. Well, you could glue it if you wanted to down the road. But yeah, this is gonna be like a focal point now, right? Okay, pretty cool piece. And
That's it? You're done?
There's probably I'm gonna glue your little windows on.
Oh, okay.
And there's probably a little gap filling, but you know who's gonna get to do that?
Me?
Yeah. Actually, like not too much. I might do a little bit on the tower.
Okay.
Like, because it's like it'd be just like a long straight like gap down, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the seams on the bricks are a little bit harder to like get right when it comes to gap filling. So I don't mind doing that. That sounds like a good challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a cool piece. They don't still make this anymore.
No.
We have one here at the studio. I think Adrian painted it. I will. If you find another one.
Yeah, because I bought this at a flea market that we had. And we are going to have another one on
Saturday there's one,
the
right?
22nd.
Oh, we're all going to be in SoCal.
Yeah, and that's also my birthday, so I'm not going to go.
Dang it, Cat.
But
Which one is it at?
Westgate.
That's like one place I know Lindsay won't be.
Yeah.
Oh, Lindsay's only in Santa Clara. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can send her. I don't know.
No, I can't. I can't just send Lindsay someone.
Can you go here and like take pictures of everything and
I mean,
wait for me to say
I mean,
I want that?
I guess I could. If she felt like doing that on her Saturday, and we paid her a lot because I could only live with myself if we paid her several $100s to do that.
Oh no.
Like, hey, go check out all the thing, and
Yeah.
then she goes and we end up paying her like several $100s, and she's like, hey, there wasn't really anything there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
The flea markets are so good though, man. And I never get out to them. And the one or two times I have, you're just like, whoa, why is this?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and then you're like, man, I should have brought more money.
Why is this here? Okay. Yeah, we do have to read your super chat, Michael Cody. I think there's at least yours, and if not, one other person's. Did we get the other one? The other one was, I think, Liberty Fires. I'm going to check it. So I don't lose it. Excuse me. Let me read Michael Cody's, though. Thank you, as always, Michael Cody. The dice models are tributes to your mod team and painting experiments so I can try new stuff. The Melody model was delivered to you guys today. It was. It's here. And I didn't open it, but I can. Michael Cody, if you want me to open it here and show it off on the Glam Cam, I'm going to do it. The alternative is next time there's mail time, which might be tomorrow. So, and then, of course, the final alternative is both, which we also will happily do. But I did not want to, traditionally at Titan Studio, we do, we show them off on Thursday nights or Saturday afternoons. So I did not want to get ahead of your plan. Mm-hmm. No note to make Adrian feel safe. Yeah, let's look at it, actually, because I'm going to let this sit.
Yeah, it did show up.
It did show up.
And it was like perfectly timed between when you checked for packages and then when I was walking back into the studio. And I'm like, wow, I thought Zach already got all the packages, and there was one there. So it was great.
It's very tiny. It's very cute. We're going to look at it.
Yeah, don't show off any addresses or anything.
No, we won't.
Cool.
Here we go. Just opening this on air. Here we go. Oh, okay, he literally meant there's no note. Okay. Oh, this is pretty cool. This gun.
Oh, give me 1 second. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, the dice are frosted,
The dice are cool, yeah.
That is so cool.
That is very cool.
That's so cool. Okay, we definitely got to throw this up on the Glam Cam.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome, Michael.
This is great. A great tribute to our mod, Melody. One of our OG-est of fans. Okay, let me make sure we get a good zoom on this. Move things a little closer. Yeah, this gun is crazy big. The lightning claw. I'm also a big fan of the purple rim on the base. You guys know I love me some non-black rims. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I love this. Really nice work on the cloak, Michael.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so
great.
good.
Yeah. I'm hearing that you only play a game or two every decade. I was sad, but I'm glad that you're still doing a lot of hobbying. That's cool. Yeah, this is super cool. Love it. Yeah, I would have used these models in Titan Watch. I know they're not officially Titan Watch, but I definitely want to use these models in Titan Watch. What could this be used as? Does any model in anywhere have a lightning claw and a las cannon? I'm not sure that that's a combo that exists, but I do love it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I just thought of this though.
What's that?
Is there like a detriment to making the unit like that much taller?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, kind of, but we won't use it in. Like if you had a really nasty tournament and had a really nasty opponent, they might do something like that. Super awesome. Thank you, Michael Cody. I'm gonna throw your box over there so we don't see your address. Okay. Look, just because I'm finished doesn't mean you have to be finished, but are you?
I'm almost finished. Yeah. I'm just making this little cage thing, and I really wanted to make sure that the cages still could swing.
Yeah. I'm going to show you guys my favorite thing that I'm going to leave Kat with having to do. It's pretty mean, actually. So this is a really cool model. This is actually something I'm going to be on the hunt for. If anyone knows one that they're trying to part with, let me know. I do like this. And I said I got a giant cathedral, Soulblighty cathedral from Etsy, so I don't really need one of these. I can probably just like be an adult and just stick with my giant cathedral. But like, I don't know.
Or you could be extra adult and spend more money to get
one of these.
This, yeah.
There were some like out of print things. There's a lot of out of print GW stuff that people get excited about that I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, I'm not into that. Like,
Now, the person who I bought this from, I know, so I can ask them if they have any more.
oh yeah.
So, I can always hit them up and ask. But if they don't, then...
That seems unlikely, but it'd be interesting.
Well, for this person, it's very likely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what I like about this for Sigmar rules is that it is... So Kat, I'm leaving the bridge here separate for you as well.
Okay.
And the reason I'm leaving the bridge separate is that once you put the bridge on, the bridge is something that can just break very easily. Frankly, I would never attach the bridge from a play perspective.
Oh, okay.
I would just... That's me. I would just do that. But you may not prefer that. It kind of slots in nice, and it's like it's going to stay there during a game. I just feel like that's going to break off, like in a store or something.
Yeah, but this isn't for the store. Like, this is my own personal thing.
Oh, okay. Well, in and out bins or whatever, but your call. I'd consider leaving it off. My experience. What I like about this, I mean, I'd use it because you don't want that there, right?
Yeah.
Like, that looks stupid. I'd use it. Well, it's your call. You know what you're doing. Okay. I just like its footprint is actually, its footprint game-wise is somewhat manageable and pretty interesting. Like, you can build bigger footprint pieces of terrain for Sigmar, which is good. You do want that as well. But this thing is actually pretty low-key to put on the table. But its visual presence is anything but. Its visual presence is all vertical. And so it's got like this amazing vertical visual presence. Here you guys can see its footprint. Not that big, right? Here's Sister Melody's model. She's on a 32 millimeter base.
Oh, no.
Like, really not that intense of a footprint on this thing. Right? You can go anywhere. But vertically, here we go to front view. It's like epic, right? It's super cool. And when Kat paints this up, and this has got like your bronze patina. The vibe here is very interesting. Are you going to put this on with your other stuff, the same board?
No.
You're going to do another one?
Yeah, a different one.
Yeah.
More like a haunted,
like
grim, dark board.
It's like a weird... It's got a little bit of Sigmar himself, as in, quite honestly, Stormcast Eternal. This predates Stormcast Eternal. But it does have like the comet iconography.
Yeah.
Which is Stormcast and like Cities of Sigmar.
Right, but then it has a bunch of skulls all over it.
It also just has like a major Soulblight Gravelords vibe to me. So, yeah, I think it's not meant to be like a Soulblight Gravelords thing. Because the skull is kind of still like a, it's a Games Workshop game.
Yeah.
Like, even the good guys have skulls all over the place. Okay, here's the crap job I left for Kat that she's going to be furious at me with. I'll get a little zoom in here for you guys. The worst part, well, actually, it wasn't that hard. I just feel like it's probably the least well attached, is this line of stairs right here. And I really did not finish getting the mold line off before I glued it. And now I can't do it now. You're like, well, just do it now, Zach. But I'm not going to do it now. It's not set enough, right?
Right.
So that means Kat's going to take this, or we can leave it here. And I'm going to, and she's going to have to do that. Or if it's left here, I'll probably just do it down the road.
Fair. I'll probably leave it here mostly because I don't have any other part of the board for it.
Yeah.
And I am heavily into assembling Smog right now. So
Into assembling what?
Smog.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is taking a lot of my patience.
I imagine. Can you imagine though if I was like, yeah, you know what? I know you're assembling Smog, but just go ahead and take this back too. Don't leave it here. We each have a hobby shelf. I wouldn't do that to Kat, of course. We each have a hobby shelf.
Yes.
We're gonna put this on the hobby shelf.
Yes. Now this is much more annoying than the other cage was, for sure.
There's two cages?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is a cool kit. I guess I've seen this put together, but I don't know that I've seen anywhere somebody put all the things on it.
Oh, really?
I think I've seen I don't think I've ever seen the cage. Let's zoom in on the cage. I don't think I've ever seen the cage. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, well, there's two. This one has a little dude in it, but instead of it being built like the other one, which is in 3 segments where the bars are attached to the base, this one, the bars are all separate, so you can put the dude in it. But
there's that presents its own challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to go any further. I get what you're laying down.
But I do like that you can make it so that the cages move. It's gonna be great when they break off eventually. But yeah, a big part of like assembly is because there are some Games Workshop pieces that do move. Articulation is a big thing with Bandai kits. But there are some pieces from Games Workshop that move, like cannons and guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some people just glue them down. I think that's sad. And I want to be able to play with my pieces, so, you know.
I love like setting up terrain and like setting up a board and then being like, oh, this needs to point that way. You know what I mean? Like those little details. It's fun, right?
You know, and if a breeze ever blew past this piece of terrain, these cages would move.
You know, this thing is huge, really, but I bet it's like 650 square feet tops.
Oh, because the buildings are so small.
The buildings actually are. You look in it, you can't do anything with any of these rooms. There's like a bed in here. Maybe this is like maybe a 2-bedroom. I mean, I think this needs to be the kitchen.
It's very narrow, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Where are the stairs on the inside as well too?
There's stairs. So there's stairs that go here. Oh, on the inside, right? Yeah. Like that's just gonna take up even more. And it's like, well, maybe it's a ladder. And you're like, okay, well now I'm what 6? Okay, cool. I'm up to like what 750 like livable square feet, but now I have to climb a ladder.
Right. What would you post this on
Like, come on.
Zillow on as like like it has a wonderful view.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
listen, Megan and I have checked out these houses in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and they're all insane. There's always a catch. You always go, and the houses, and they're like, oh wow, it's like actually a low price, but it's always a catch. There's always like weird indoor-outdoor things you have to go through. Like, oh, cool, to get to the bathroom, you have to go outside and down a flight of wooden steps, and then there's always some bizarre, weird catch to these places. Yeah, I know. Everybody in the Bay Area is like making the joke. Yeah, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, it is basically it's basically, Triple Herbals is right. It is basically a glorified outhouse. With a little bit of an Santa Cruz Mountain House catch, actively on fire. Yeah. Anyway, I do love this kit. This is one of those invocative kits, right? I really love, like, you can really just picture like an old wizard guy like walking this platform to come up to his little observatory until he falls, which Cat doesn't seem to think is a problem.
That's fine.
Hopefully he has Sigmar Life Alert, whatever that looks like.
You know, honestly, I really think like it's kind of like there's no sense of perceived safety with this either. Like you can't really be like, well, I thought I was going to be safe, and you look at it and you're like, really? Did you? Honestly, can you tell me that?
Oh, you mean when you buy the house?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, and you can't guess over because they'll just fall and you're gonna get sued. Yeah. Wow, we really know how to rain on being evocative. It's all charming until you have to live in it.
It's nice to look at.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh no.
How's it going?
Well, I'm really just trying to really make sure that this is secure, but also still swings. So I have to move it while it's drying.
Yes.
Which
Annoying.
I don't want to do because
Annoying.
it's so delicate.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Okay, here's the big thing. Cat's Super Cool Tools. She put a link in the bottom of the stream.
Yep.
You can get the links to the glass thing, the cement, which we were into.
Yeah, both
and-
of these.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this is great if you're assembling like figures and models and stuff. Because it dries so quickly, I wasn't
glue?
really using it on this. Yeah, it's just
Oh, same brand,
yeah. It's this, but
but in a pen.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
God hand, hands, links for everything in there. So if you're interested, just click those links.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were ahead of it this time. Hey, we did it.
We did it.
Cool.
Yay.
Anything else? We good?
I think we're good.
Can we call it?
I
Okay.
think we're good.
Folks, as we like
It
to say,
moves.
well, first of all, a big thank you for joining us. And we will see you next week. And as we like to say, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and always be creating. See you guys.